Let's see here. Alright, I am live. Cool. It's working. Okay. Well, volume 16 was great. Let's continue. Man, volume 16 was fucking nuts. Or volume 15 for light novel readers. That still hasn't come out yet. I still have to wait till March for that. But yeah. I believe the volume for this light novel comes out in May. And I'm excited. We get to read it now, though, with the web novel, so yeah. Alright. Well, I'm just gonna get this started.
Mushoku Tensei 17. Young Man Period, Kingdom Chapter. Raifujin Na Mago Note. Chapter 166, Summon. Part 1. Terudius Grere. Ever since then, how is your physical condition? Has your magic recovered? I wish to talk about the future. I will wait inside the hut located in Sharia City suburb. Due to our circumstances, I wish for you to come alone.
By the way, also something to note, I fixed the Sylphy situation. It is no longer going to spell out Sylphy because I changed it from SY to SI, and now it actually reads it like Sylphy. You'll see later in this page.
After I read that letter, I asked Aisha to prepare some food. After getting the food, I went back to my room and changed clothes. Choosing the best clothes possible, I showed them to Aisha and asked her to confirm whether there were any weird spots. Then I left the house, taking with me Aquaharsha and the diary from the future. 1. On the way I called out to the baby tree and Beat and the playing Zenith. Point 2. Mother, I'm off. Zenith was waving her hand as if saying take care. Next to her, Beat was also shaking his leaves and branches. I did not call out to Sylvie and the others. If I did, they would probably insist on coming along. The letter said to come alone. Thus I would go alone. This time was not to go to fight. I had no intention to destroy the hut Orsted was in with magic, because if it came down to a fight, I would definitely lose my life. If I was asked whether I trusted Orsted, it would be a difficult question. But from the letter I could somehow feel his consideration. Even Nanahoshi emotionally felt that it was better for me to avoid fighting Orsted, and personally I also think that he is someone who can be trusted more than a human god. But, after all, I'm nervous. While talking to myself, I took the path to Sharia. On the way I found the pool of water and confirmed multiple times whether there were any weird spots on my face. I decided to work under Orsted. Point 3. In other words, Orsted is my boss. It was unpleasant to appear before the boss in a weird fashion.
I guess.
I wonder if it would be better to apply perfume or not. Perhaps I should have cleaned myself with hot water, since there might be Eris's lingering scent from last night. I wonder what the president would think if an employee was called to his office with an erotic smell. While I might not suddenly be fired, his view would definitely not be favorable. 4. I wish to give Orsted a favorable impression. Orsted. Someone capable of fighting and winning against human god. Apparently with the help of my descendants he will kill human god. While I feel sorry for the human god. But I was the one who was first betrayed. He's somebody who laid his hands on Roxy and Sylvie. Sympathy cannot be shown.
Nope.
I will wag my tail at Orsted. Wagging my tail like an electric fan while bearing fangs towards the human god. Doing what will definitely protect my family. Alright. Renewing my determination, I head towards the suburb. While being careful not to get splashed by the carriage with dirty water. Part 2. A weird atmosphere was drifting around the hut in the suburb. Somehow it was different.
Actually
it could not be expressed in words, but something was different. Surely something like sound effects and other effects seen in manga will come out from the hut. With one glance I understood that Orsted was in there. Phew, 5. I took a deep breath. And knocked at the door. Rudius Grere. Entering. Quite early. Even though I knew he was here, I shivered when I received a reply. As expected, it seems my fear towards Orsted still remained inside. May I please come in? Why do you ask for permission? Isn't this the hut you have prepared? Yes. Please excuse me. When I opened the door and entered, Orsted was inside. Sitting on one of the chairs inside, he was glaring at me. No, he wasn't glaring at me. He was just looking. It was quite the scary face. I closed the door and moved towards Orsted as briskly as possible. Standing right in front of the chair and taking an attentive pose. Orsted was making a suspicious face towards me. I thought you would come with a large number of comrades, 2 people, huh? Yes, I came alone, 2 people. Hearing those unexpected words, I doubted my hearing. Unless Orsted had presbyopia and was seeing me doubled, I should have been only one person. Eris Grere. Come in if you want. As Orsted shouted, she vigorously blew open the door. It was Eris. She had drawn the sword that she was carrying. And released bloodthirst. Orsted. If you lay a hand on Rudius, I will kill you. She declared while pointing her sword at Orsted. With tremendous determination enough to cause you to wet yourself. Orsted was composed before her. I do not have such an intention. You can't be trusted. I suppose so. Being told that, Eris positioned herself in a corner of the hut and crossed her arms. While I became stiff with Eris's appearance, I compared Eris with Orsted. I guess I should give an explanation. That I did not bring Eris with me. That I came alone. That I'm not an enemy. But, how should I explain Eris, who appeared with a sword? What should I do? How can I do it? What are you doing, Rudius Rere? Sit down. Let us talk. While I was thinking, I was rushed by Orsted. Ah, yes. Please excuse me. Even if I sat down on the chair, I was still concerned about Eris. Eris who was holding a drawn weapon. Eris is. I can tell from your behavior. It seems like you have been tailed. Ah, yes. It's that kind of feeling, so, before the talk, can I have a quick word with Eris? I don't mind. He didn't seem angry. While being seated, I turned towards Eris and beckoned her. What? Eris, why did you come here? Because Rudius dressed up, I was just wondering where you were going. Dressed up? Indeed, I was choosing clothes and was carefully doing my hair. From another perspective, it might have looked like nothing else. You understand that I came to work under Orsted, right? I understand, but with that kind of guy, who knows what he's planning? It's possible that he might deceive Rudius. Maybe. But it's still too early to judge that. If possible, it would be good if you're quiet and don't disturb us. If we're deceived, let's fight together, Eris. I'm relying on you. Tisk. Understood. After coming to an understanding, Eris sheathed her sword and sat down next to me. Quite simple. Now. I am very sorry. I don't mind. Anyway, Eris still doesn't seem to be able to trust Orsted-sama, but it can't be helped because of the curse. Having said so, it felt like Orsted-sama's eyes flashed. Where did you hear about my curse? From the human god. About how at some point Orsted-sama's body received the curse. I answered honestly. What I was told and informed by the human god. It would be better if I let out everything I was told. Is that so? Orsted rested his chin in his hand and looked in the direction slightly above. There was nothing above his line of sight. Is that his thinking pose? Anyway, let's do as promised. Why are you making such a surprised face? I am different from the human god. I keep my promises. That's not it. What kind of promise did we make? The way to protect your family from the human god. Ah, I see. That's right, how could I forget that? No, I only forgot what kind of promise we made. Rather, it felt more like a contract. A contract with the devil. I see, a contract-like promise. I still haven't done anything, is that fine? Are you not also anxious if your family was exposed to danger? Well, that's true. It somehow felt like receiving a favor. Or rather, it was a far kinder feeling than I thought. I thought it would be more like being ordered around. Though his face may be scary, unexpectedly he might be someone who takes his subordinates' feelings into consideration. To the point where the edgy Eris couldn't believe it. It is not that difficult. Summoning a guardian magical beast possessing a strong fate and letting it protect them. Summon, is it? However, right now I still cannot use summoning magic. Then I will write the magic circle. Put your own magic into it. Ah, yes, I will be troubling you. A guardian magical beast possessing a strong fate, huh? Fate, I think it was about the law of causation. Are you sure just this is enough for protection? The human god cannot manipulate inhuman beings. Further, he cannot manipulate a great number of people at the same time. As long as we move, he will have his hands full with our interference. Based on his personality, that will be more than enough prevention. Talking about personality. Still, not being able to manipulate a great number of people means in the worst case at the very least he can manipulate 2 people. While I was being manipulated, I wonder if he was manipulating someone else. But do not let your guard down. We do not know what the human god is doing. Instead of just leaving it to the magical beast, checking up on them frequently is better. When Orsted said to check up on them frequently, something felt wrong. It seemed his talk was literal. I knew that you shouldn't judge based on appearance. Whatever. Being told that he will prepare it, for now let's continue. Then, to the main topic. Then, what should I do from now on? There were many things I wanted to know, but it was only polite to answer questions regarding myself. It was showing your character. Do you not have more things that you want to know? Or so I thought, but I was questioned in return. There is a lot. Why do you not ask? I thought that asking without answering any questions would not be good. Having said so, Orsted let out a sigh. You have become my comrade, thus. Subordinate. Let us keep the hierarchical relationship in mind. Beating me to a pulp, giving me a method to protect my family. Then being told that we are equals, I am not insensitive. Point 6. It is fine if you want to think that way, regardless, you and I will work together for the sake of overthrowing human god. You must know what you want to know. Despite saying all this, what will you do if I am a double agent for human god? I might be telling human god every night information about Orsted-san. I trust you. With a strong glance I was told so. Your stance is that of someone desperately trying to protect his family. I was a little embarrassed being told that. I was indeed very desperate that time. But, well, saying so means he takes me at my word. The things that I wanted to know. There are several. Regarding the discord between Orsted and human god. Regarding the Laplace factor. Regarding the monocalamity. Regarding what's with fate. For now it's such things. Then, please tell me one by one. Part 3, regarding the discord between Orsted and human god. The relationship between Orsted and human god. I decided to hear about that first. I also wanted to know. About myself. That's right. Please. Didn't you hear it from human god? Though it seems you have heard about the curse. Ehem. What was it? It was 5 years ago. Recall. What human god said at that time. You have 4 curses. Continue. First, the curse of being hated and feared by all living creatures in this world. Second, the curse of being invisible from human god's view. Third, the curse of being unable to go all out. About the last one, he said something about not being quite clear. 7.
Really?
I see. Having said that, Orsted was quietly nodding his head. About the first one, ever since I was born, I was indeed shunned by all living creatures. But I don't seem to hate you that much. That being said, there seem to exist some like that, for example Nanahoshi. I see. Apparently there are exceptions. It may be related to the fact that Nanahoshi and I were not originally humans from this world. Should I mention this or should I remain silent? Because Eris was sitting next to me, I hesitated a little. But it would not be wise to keep it a secret. Orsted-san. I did not intend to hide it but... Originally I am a human from the same world as Nanahoshi. It's possible that they are related. Then is Rudius Guerre an alias? That story will take very long to tell, but I am different from Nanahoshi, that is, before I knew it, I was reborn as Rudius Guerre in this world, and I wonder how to talk about it. Reincarnation, huh? I was surprised. For reincarnation to come out of Orsted's mouth. No, it was written in the diary, something about the dragon tribe knowing the method of reincarnation. Point 8. Even if they die, they will come back to life in a few decades. To them, reincarnation would be something major. It is probably related to your reincarnated body. As for why you do not fear me. Are there any other people who do not fear you? Except for special exceptions, only those who have the blood of the ancient dragon tribe. 9. So such as Perosius. No, I remember that even Perosius was quite scared. Or is it not related to the curse? Apart from the curse, there are also other reasons to fear other people. The second curse, regarding the curse of being invisible from human god's view, it is not a curse. Then that is. When asked, Orsted was thinking a little bit. While thinking, he looked into my eyes and said. It is a secret technique the first generation dragon god came up with a long time ago while fighting human god. It is a technique allowing one to see fate and at the same time allows one to deviate from the law of the world. Oh. Human god also can see into the future and possesses the power of foresight. However, it cannot see the ones who have deviated from the law of the world. 10. I see. I didn't know what it means to have deviated from the law of the world, but being able to escape from human god's side is phenomenal. What is it? The power to see fate. Let's see. Orsted was making a pose as he was thinking. It couldn't be that he's thinking about it right now. It is to know the rough history of the path an individual should have taken. The rough history. That means Orsted-sama can see the future. No. What I can see is the past, not the future.
Like a teacher.
The one
It's
preordained by
weird.
fate. Somehow it was quite philosophical.
This.
It was quite hard to tell it apart from seeing the future.
Like that,
For now I
but
will
it's
think of
like
it as being one rank lower than human god's future
strange.
side. Are you going to teach me that technique? No,
This
it is better not to.
very strange
That is to say. To become invisible to human god is a very attractive advantage. I wanted to hear the reason for not teaching it. When receiving the secret technique, there are side effects, that is the speed at which magic recovers becomes tremendously slow. When saying tremendously slow, exactly how much? You have recovered from your drained state in about 10 days, you can think of it as becoming 1,000 times slower. 1,000 times. That is about 10,000 days. Roughly 30 years. Thus I cannot freely use magic. Being rarely able to go all out means that. I see, if you cannot recover magic, then you would not be able to go all out. While I didn't know what magic quantity Orsted has, if magic hadn't recovered in a few years' time, he couldn't go all out. He must conserve power. Although I cannot teach you the secret technique, if you work under me, a similar effect can be granted. I took a look at the bracelet worn on my left hand. Apparently it had a jamming-like effect. Is there no side effect to this? If you mass-produced it? It would have already been done if it was possible. Together with breaking my body's curse. Was that so? Rather, I have used up a considerable amount of magic in our fight. For a while I will not be able to seriously fight. Seriously. But wasn't it more like instant kill? I resisted your magic 3 times head-on and even drew the god sword. A reasonable amount of magic was used up. 11. Orsted bitterly said.
Hello.
From my perspective I felt that I was beaten around without being able to do much, but surprisingly it was quite a balanced fight. So it can be said that I have given my best. Yufufu. Not much of my magic is remaining. Thus you will move, becoming my hands and legs. Yes. I will do my best. Working for the amount I have deducted. It is appropriate. Then, for what reason is Orsted-sama fighting against human god? That is, As Orsted hesitantly said so, he faced towards the day after tomorrow. Since earlier, he was thinking about what to say and was often in a thinking pose. I was wondering whether he was spewing out lies. No, that couldn't be. It may be that while I may be trusted, I have yet to prove worthy of his trust. 12. For now I will move based on his partial truth while also investigating tendencies, such a possibility also exists. Human god is my father's ruin. Who? Father's ruin. The future me was burning for vengeance as a result of Roxy and Sylphie. While the me in the present, who has not lost anyone, can say that vengeance will not give birth to anything. In fact, it is clear from the diary, that being consumed with feelings for vengeance I changed into a demon. And, overthrowing human god is the ancient dragon tribe's dearest wish. The dragon god's sole reason for existence is to defeat human god. This was what you would call, for a great cause. 13. Wait, how many dragon gods were there? I am the 100th generation. 100 dragon gods have studied on how to overthrow human god. I see. However, human god has defeated dragon gods with weaker blood. Orsted looked at me with glinting eyes. Thus my father, the first generation dragon god, has sent me to the future using the method of reincarnation. Orsted offhandedly said so. TL, Aquaharsha is the furigana of the staff Rudius.
Yeah, I don't need to look at the notes here. So strange. Okay, so he's not insanely OP. He's OP when he has all of his mana, like enough mana like gathered up, I guess. He's only OP once or twice a year, you know? Or once every 2 years. He's only OP then.
Chapter 167, Explanation. Part 1. Let us reorganize a bit. First,
Guess you gotta wait a few
he is
years
from the ancient
before
dragon
you
tribe,
can actually
who came
have
from an
enough
immemorial
power
past to the present by using the method of
to beat up
reincarnation.
the manga.
His body was harboring a curse and an ancient technique. The curse was to be shunned by all living creatures in this world. The ancient technique caused magic to recover at a slow rate, but in return it is possible to escape from human god's sight as well as obtaining the ability to roughly see the future. Why was such a curse brought to the present? Because it was caused by the death of the first generation dragon god at the hands of human god. Starting from the second generation, the reason for existence for all subsequent dragon gods is to defeat human god, which was also the ancient dragon tribe's dearest wish. Thus the son of the first generation dragon god, Orsted, was trying to defeat human god. Is everything until now correct? Ah, exactly. It is a great help that you quickly understand it. Exactly how many years ago were you reincarnated? Let's see, about 2,000 years ago. 2,000 years, he seems to have lived for quite a long time. Although everything seemed to be consistent, somehow there is a feeling of something being out of place. I wonder what it is. Like the point about magic recovery. Orsted seemed to be using something similar to Perogius, that summoning magic that absorbs magic. If he absorbs magic with it, would that not solve the magic problem? No, if he could, he would have done so already. It may not be possible to stock up on the absorbed magic in his body with that summoning magic. Then the abnormal hostility Orsted holds towards human god? Although having killed his father was reason enough, there was still the feeling that the hostility was too great. Orsted's attachment for his father also seemed weak. From my viewpoint, you seem to hold a great grudge towards human god. What is the reason? Is there someone who does not hold a grudge against that piece of trash? 1. That's true. Ah well, Orsted seems to have lived for a long time, surely there must have been bad blood between them. Although he cannot be seen, messages can still be delivered. Although Orsted became like this, it may not be related to the discord between the first generation dragon god and human god. There are still many things I didn't know, but the person Orsted is probably like that. Regardless of the specifics, he had a reason to fight against human god.
Brutal.
The enemy's enemy is an ally. Also, there are still many things to be heard about other matters. Part 2, regarding the Laplace factor. In our previous battle there was some talk about me possessing the Laplace factor. What does it mean? How much do you know about Laplace? The one who was responsible for the war 400 years ago and who pushed the human race into the corner. Also that he had a tremendous amount of magic and was unable to use fighting spirit. He was also extremely strong, but was ultimately sealed by Perogius-sama and 2 others. And that he caused the downfall of the super tribe. Point 2. I have heard various other things, but these were the main points I guess. So about that much. Also that he will soon revive. Have you heard that the method he uses to revive is the method of reincarnation by the dragon tribe? No, I do not think I have heard this. Oh no, it feels like human god mentioned something like that, or was it something different? The memory is somewhat murky. But still, the method of reincarnation again.
It's just one digit.
Later I will hear the details about what you and human god talked about and what he revealed. Yes. But now it is about Laplace. Eris's atmosphere became tense when talk about Laplace arrived. Both Eris and I are Rudyard's friends. 3. Laplace was Rudyard's enemy. His enemy was also our enemy. Thus I could understand the tenseness regarding the existence of Laplace. But I will calmly approach this. It's Eris's role to get angry, mine is to remain calm. Demon god Laplace's identity is the shadow of what was once Demon Dragon King Laplace. Orsted revealed this without being pretentious. Demon Dragon King. Yes, in the past he was part of the dragon tribe. Laplace was the Demon Dragon King. Part of the dragon tribe. But he's the demon god. The Demon Dragon King Laplace is the only one left of the first generation 5 dragon warriors. 4. 5 dragon warriors. If I remember right, they were the 5 subordinates of the dragon god, who in the end all rebelled against him. That guy escaped the collapsing dragon world and drifted to this world, to carry out a certain mission. He became the second generation dragon god. From dragon king to dragon god to demon god. Wait a minute, it's all confusing. It feels like my head is splitting.
Yeah.
5. He researched about methods and techniques to overthrow human god. He taught to those who called themselves dragon god techniques he had developed over a long time. All for the sake of passing down the power to me who came to the future, me who possessed the greatest strength among the dragon tribe. Calling yourself the strongest. However, Laplace started the human demon race world war and fought against fighting god, who was human god's apostle, and had his soul split into 2 halves. It felt like I have heard this story somewhere. The story about how the Golden Knight Aldbrand fought against the great demon empress. According to Kisirika, there was a story about how dragon god and fighting god fought against each other. So the dragon god was Laplace and the fighting god was Aldbran. So Laplace was fighting on the demon side.
There's so many
Laplace,
names.
who was split in two, lost his memory and became two, the human-hating demon god and technique god, whose aim was to overthrow God 6. That was how the demon god came forth. And also technique god. Though the technique god was indeed ranked first among the 7 great major powers. That means technique god was also Laplace. Indeed. Somehow I felt I just heard an unbelievable story.
What?
I wonder if it was good for me to have heard this story.
Okay.
There was too much information, it became confusing. Orsted was the son of the first generation dragon god, and Laplace was the second generation. In other words, it's like this. First, the first generation dragon god sent Orsted to the future in order to overthrow human god. Laplace was one of the 5 dragon warriors and fought against the first generation dragon god, and perhaps realized that human god manipulated him, then became his subordinate again. Point 7. The first generation dragon god died, while Laplace survived. To teach Orsted techniques, Laplace traveled around the world to study them while also teaching them to previous dragon gods. Human god used fighting god to interfere. Laplace was unluckily split into 2 and lost his memory, though I didn't know whether that was on purpose to survive. Something like this? There is no confidence whether it is correct. I wonder if my head was always that bad. HMPF. While looking to the side at Eris, her mouth made a frustrated face. She didn't seem to understand anything. Great, there was some comfort. Orsted's explanation continued. Demon god Laplace lost the power of dragons. He only remembered the enormous amount of magic knowledge and that he must definitely kill human. For that purpose, he rallied the demon race to exterminate the human race. Point 8. Technique god Laplace who lost the power of magic. He only remembered the enormous amount of techniques and that he must definitely teach and pass them down to someone. Thus technique god created the 7 great major powers ranking and devoted himself in studying those techniques. The technique god created the 7 great major powers ranking. I felt I have heard this before. After all, he is ranked first. But the human demon race world war was 2,000 years ago. How did Orsted Sama know about these facts? If you came 2,000 years ago, the human demon race world war should have already ended. By then Laplace has already lost his memory. If so, there should be no one who should know this. I have read about Laplace in the ruins of the ancient dragon tribe. I understand. So before he lost his memory, he had already left a record of them. Quite ironic that Laplace, who lost his memory, could not find those. Now, let's trace the conversation back a bit. About why you possess magic. Yes. The first generation dragon god invented the method of reincarnation. Sending oneself's soul into the future, taking over another being's body and ultimately reviving. The method of reincarnation. Taking over another being's body. Wait, don't be deceived. However, originally body and soul are as one. You attach yourself to a foreign body, but if there are signs of rejection, the revival will fail. 9. Thus the first generation dragon god came up with the idea to plant his factor into multiple people, and when they make children, their bodies will have been slightly changed. Point 10. He tried creating a vessel that matched my soul by adapting the whole body of the people over thousands of generations. 11. The reincarnation will occur when an adapted body possessing the factor perfectly matches with the soul. Taking over the body of the soul it was originally supposed to be in and be born while pretending to be it. Many from the ancient dragon tribe have been reincarnated into the present by using this method of reincarnation. Perogeus is one of them. Furthermore, he does not remember about his previous life because he reincarnated with his vague childhood memories. 12. Taking over the body of the soul it was originally supposed to be in, and becoming that person. Hearing these words, I looked at my own hands. I'm also a reincarnated person. I wonder if I robbed the person known as Radius Grere his life. Hey, are you listening? Yes.
That's fucked up.
Before I noticed, I was looking into Orsted's face.
Shit.
For a while he looked into my face and then let out a breath. Returning to the topic. Although demon god Laplace had already lost his mind, he seemed to remember about the method of reincarnation, or there may be some remaining records of it. Being defeated by Perogeus, he distributed his factor before his body was sealed and sent his own soul to the future. Currently, those who have characteristics similar to his and possess the Laplace factor, have slowly started to appear. Having an aptitude towards magic and possessing a great amount of magic, green hair and being born with demon eyes. Aptitude towards magic and possessing a great amount of magic. Green hair. With the exception of demon eye, a certain person comes to mind. Perhaps, Sylphie is. Sylphiette is one of them. Though for some reason her hair turned white. But she is not Laplace himself, right? Of course, he can't become a woman. I felt a little relieved. However, thinking about it, the most suspicious person is not Sylphie. Then, me. You are likely the same. A body that can harbor such a great amount of magic is usually not born. I thought I managed to expand my amount of magic with my own efforts. Of course. It is only because your body has the characteristic to harbor such a great quantity of magic. If you did not train your magic since childhood, you would only have a little more than an ordinary person. Maybe about the same as Sylphiette. That tremendous quantity of magic is the crystallization of your effort. You can be proud of yourself. Somehow I was praised. I wonder if it was fine to be proud. So I am not Laplace himself, right? No, the time until Laplace will be reborn is a little farther ahead in the future. I see. I was a little bit relieved when I heard that I was not Laplace himself. I'm also glad to know of the origin of my magic. Though I did feel a little bad for Richard because it was Laplace's power. However, power is power. It is up to oneself how to use the power. But that is not what I was worried about. Orsted was looking at me for a while, but let out a sigh and said, "You can relax. Although you are also a reincarnated person, according to my memory the person known as Radius Grere does not exist. That is. The fact that you have the Laplace factor means that before you were born you possessed an aptitude towards magic and a big magic quantity. It would not be strange if the soul could not handle harboring all that amount of magic in your body. Not being able to handle it means. It means originally it was probably stillborn. Then you entered inside. Stillborn. I see. Then it's good. The fact that I did not kill Mr. Rudius is good. Point 13.
That's good.
I did not want to think that I
hell.
robbed him of such a great, happy life. It was good that it did not become a sad history with Paul and Zenith's first child being dead. Hence it's good. Alright. Let's change it. I am Paul's and Zenith's child, Rudius. The one and only Rudius Grere. With that mindset, let's move on to the next question. Part 3, regarding the monocalamity. I heard that the monocalamity was the result of summoning Nanahoshi, but can I hear the specific details? There are still many things that are unknown regarding the incident. It was the first time something like this happened. As a reincarnated person, I was at that place. Thus I think there exists the possibility that I caused that incident. You were. While saying so, Eris touched the area around my thigh. When I looked at her, she was weakly shaking her head. To reassure myself, I moved my hand and touched Eris's buttocks. The soft yet well-built buttocks was very attractive and it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. The possibility cannot be ruled out. Nanahoshi, that incident, they were all unprecedented incidents. I thought the flesh around the thigh would be ripped off. Eris glared at me with a serious face, saying wasn't this supposed to be a serious topic? I was happy that she became a child that could read the atmosphere. Anyway, it seemed like he did not have information regarding the monocalamity. Even though Nanahoshi made a weird hypothesis, well, I guess it's fine. Part 4, regarding things from now on. For the time being, these questions were enough. If I heard too much, I feel like my head would split. In fact, my head was already at the brink of splitting. First, I managed to obtain information about the future. Is that so? Please have a look. Having said so, I handed over the future diary to Orsted. Orsted opened the diary and read a few pages. And, making a frown, looked up. It will take some time. The characters are too messy. I do not mind. I wonder if my writing really was that messy. I was also told that by Nanahoshi. Well, it's a diary, even if it's messy, it can't be helped. But,
kid.
let's just be careful showing others my writing. Right, before we continue, may I first confirm something? What is it? I wonder if it was fine to ask about it? I felt like because Orsted was much more benevolent than I expected, I was pushing the line. No, I-14. You do not need to be so formal. From now on will become Orsted Sans, Sama subordinate. Having said so, is that acceptable? But only as long as you intend to. So, it is a rather difficult topic to talk about. Taking a look at Eris, I said. It is regarding the terms of employment. Terms of employment. Yes. I do have wives and children, I would like to regularly have rest days, time to see my family, if they are possible, I believe, I would feel very grateful. Yes 15. Rest is very important. It is necessary for any human to rest. I am of course someone who will put forth all my efforts into working, when I have decided to work. But still. Exactly for what reason I work, isn't it necessary to regularly remind yourself? To see the growth of Lucy. To tell Aisha and Norn to study. To savor Lilia's dishes. To bask in the sun with Mother. To do erotic things with Sylvie. To do erotic things with Roxy. To do erotic things with Eris.
Of course.
Right. That is up to you. Rudius Grere. Is that so? As expected it was no good, huh? I'm sorry Lucy, Daddy will be working away from home. Until I defeat human god, save the world, and return, grow up healthy and be a good kid. But I am different from Adolf. I do not think I could separate you, who risked his life trying to protect his family, from them. To take you away for so many years, at the very least, right now I do not have such intentions. Is that so? Hearing that I can feel relieved. It seems I will receive rest. I'm glad. It would be hard to be separated from everyone. Even saying that I absolutely must protect them, I want to be together with them. Is there anything else you require? Orsted's eyes were glaring. I wonder if it would be fine to ask. I hope he won't be angry. No, it is not good to ask for such a thing afterwards. Don't we have a contract? We have to be firm and decide this first. Is it really alright for me to make a demand? I plan to make it as convenient as possible. Are you serious? Then is it fine to push the line and demand salary? It should not be a bad thing. Money was in other words responsibility. Paying money means to give responsibility.
You, bro.
Receiving money means to take responsibility. A work that doesn't involve money will become an irresponsible work. Or so I have read in a manga. From now on I will receive responsibility from Orsted. It could be said that getting money from Orsted was a form of proof. That is. If I am not at home, there will be one less person, working to support the family. Although it cannot be said that I earn much, previously to fight Orsted-sama, a lot, that is, has been used up. Even the reserves, though there was still some left, it can be said that the bottom can be seen. Thus, if I do not work, the dinner will have one less dish. And, we still have young ones in the middle of their growth spurt. In other words, it is about money. To put it in simple terms, that is it, hee. While I made an embarrassed, vulgar laugh, Orsted took something out of his pocket. It was a dagger in its splendidly ornamented sheath. No, a short sword. It was put on top of the table. This is one of 48 demon swords, crafted from the bones of King Ryuya by the demon realm's craftsman Yulian Jalisco. It is the demon sword Yobi Ori prominent. If you sell it, you would probably receive about 100,000 Azura gold coins. It will be your current budget 16. Oh, yes.
Okay, I
100,000
guess he
Azure gold
is
coins.
paying him. What
In this
the
currency,
fuck,
1 Azure
dude?
gold coin is worth about 100,000 yen, So it's equivalent to 10 billion yen? Is this not an amount that allows you to play around your whole life?
What
It may
the
be enough to build a castle.
fuck?
So it is not enough. No, how is that possible? This is bad. That guy, he gave me such an expensive item, exactly
Oh
what is he
my
going to make me do?
gosh.
To fight against human god. But, it became a little more scary. But, even if he says it is my current budget,
He's a
exactly
paid
who would pay so
employee.
much money to buy one sword? Azure's royal family. Am I going to squeeze one of Ariel's brothers dry? But, it would be extremely hard to turn this into money, I think. I see. That is true. Then, is something like this better? Saying so, Orsted took out a leather bag. It was casually put on the table and made a sound like stones were rubbing against each other. I stretched out my hands towards the leather bag to see what was inside. Colorful and transparent stones were inside. They were blue, red, green, yellow, black and white. These are gems. They are magic stones. They may be small, but I have chosen ones dyed in a color. If you sell them at the Magic Guild, they will become a large sum of money. Colored magic stones. And so many of them. Unlike the demon sword, you wouldn't be able to build a castle, but it would be enough to play around for 10 years. I wonder if it's alright to receive something like this. While I was thinking, I took a glance at Orsted's face. Do you still need more? Is more coming? No, but receiving any more
Casually
would be
gives him
somewhat scary.
10
No.
years worth
For
of
the time
money.
being,
It's like,
this is
here,
enough. The
you
magic stones
take
and the
it.
short sword were placed in the pocket while answering.
It's like,
Somehow it felt like
is that
receiving
enough?
dangerous items. It was itching.
I don't know.
I think I will have Eris take the short sword.
Money is
Then,
just a concept
I will read this
to
diary,
me.
but what will you do? Let's see. I will wait. It will take a day.
Fucking hell.
Then, what to do? Today is still early, is it better to continue the story? No, if you believe that this diary is important, it would be better to read it first. Though whether it was important or not was difficult to say. I felt that it was better to read it at least once. Orsted can roughly see the future. Thus if he took a look at my diary, he may come to some kind of realization. Then, I will come again tomorrow to this place. Do you intend to sleep here? I understand. Saying my farewell, I left the hut and returned to the house. Part 5. On the way home. In the evening, Eris was walking one step ahead. Somehow I ended up hearing about many difficult to understand topics. My head felt heavy. My tired head was only looking at the incredible buttocks before me. Eris's butt was amazing. There was a perfect harmony between muscle and fat.
Of course.
It gave off an incredible feeling. What can come out will come out. It would be what was known as sex appeal. Eris was perfectly wearing her bottoms where the buttocks line appeared. It was a very impressive line. You could understand that it was just about to burst out. Whether it was spats or leggings. Exactly what leather was the material made of, I don't think I have seen such an odd animal.
How many pages
No,
are we
that
gonna
elasticity
save
may come
for
from the
it?
cloth. I felt that if I touched it, I would understand. That's right, I should just touch it.
Yeah,
If I touch it, I would unravel one of the mysteries in the world in exchange for momentary pain. Alright, Eris could use the sword of light, I will also show that I can use the touch of light.
Basically.
17. Rudius. Suddenly Eris turned around. I hurriedly raised up my face. Rudius is Rudius, right? As
free
usual,
real estate.
Eris's face was shaped like the character. She somehow understood all the talk regarding reincarnation. I am me. I seem to have the Laplace factor, but I'm not someone entirely different. Then, nothing will change from now on. That's the intention. Only something that was not known became clear, nothing will change. I declared without making excuses or apologizing. Eris seems to have kept up with the topics from before. I wonder if she understood it. To Orsted, reincarnation seemed to be like a daily occurrence, while I, who read sci-fi in my previous life, was somehow able to understand it.
Unless she's an idiot,
But I wonder if someone
assume
without
she
any prior
typed in
knowledge would
that
be able to keep up with the
information
topics just
about
now.
reincarnating.
No, even Eris is supposed to be around 20 years old. It's not an age where you never need to think. It's my own selfish wish for Eris to forever remain an idiot. Feel fun. In the situation where I didn't know whether Eris understood it or not, she said. You want to keep it a secret from Sylvie and Roxy. If possible, but if you want to reveal it, I will say it. As I answered, Eris was running 2-3 steps and stopped. The sunset was right behind her. Her beautiful proportions were cast in shadow by the light behind her. As her red hair was basking in the sunset, it shone like rubies. Even with backlight, her well-defined facial features and the sharp glint in her eyes gave off a strong sense of presence. How beautiful. Then, let's walk while holding hands. Eris held out her hand. I silently took her hand. Contrary to her beautiful appearance there were sword calluses, and it was slightly rougher, which was a big difference compared to Sylvie and Roxy. The hand that wrapped around mine was warm and strong. I grasped it tightly in return and began walking. To walk side by side with Eris after such a long time, made me happy for some reason. TL,
Okay,
language used is quite strong.
We don't need the notes, we don't need the notes. Okay, so I guess he's keeping it a secret from the rest. I mean, I assume they'd probably take that info the same way she did, just be like, nah, whatever, you know. Holding hands, yeah. Bro, okay. Yeah. Yeah. everything up to now has been the backstory. The real story starts now. Rudy's like 18 years old going over to war. So it's gonna be like Vinland Saga, where the prologue is fucking crazy, and then the rest is gonna be like whatever. I don't know. I don't know what to say. It's very strange. Dude, I didn't know Orsted was this rich, but I guess since Nanahoshi just became rich just by knowing Orsted, I assume he's somewhat wealthy, but I didn't expect him to just give him a sword. It's like, here's $100 million right here, you know? Entire Mushoku Tensei is a fucking prologue. Bruh.
Chapter 168, Towards the First Mission. Part 1. The next day. For the second time, I proceeded towards Orsted's place. Today,
Alright,
I
I
went
want
alone.
to see what he thinks
I asked
about
Eris to
that
guard the house.
diary.
Right now she is the watchdog. If a
He's probably
suspicious
gonna
guy
think it's
comes,
completely
she is to help
useless
Aisha
to
send
him.
him away. With this, the security of my home is perfect. I had her protect the house, at least until the guardian magical beast is summoned. Since Eris came along, it should be fine to take Sylvie and Roxy along as well. But due to Orsted's curse, they will most likely become hostile towards him. In the end, going alone was better. Part 2. Outside the hut, Zanoba was dead. Leaning against the almost 3-meter
Yeah,
tall
but I
metal
don't
mass,
think there's
he
a
was lying on his
sequel,
face. Point 1.
so
No way. I rushed towards him in a hurry, put my hand on his shoulder and shook it. Are you serious? Hey, Zanoba, hey. Pulse was beating. Pupil was moving. Breath was there. Body temperature was warm. Looks like he was still alive. I was too hasty. He was not dead. He was just sleeping. Ha, I was perplexed. Jesus, I almost cried. Why was this guy sleeping in a place like this? He should just sleep like royalty on a soft bed, he is already at an advanced age. Point 2. While I was relieved, Orsted came out from inside the hut. You came, Rudius. Ah, yes, I have arrived. He moved his eyes and stared at Zanoba and me. Last night, Zanoba Chiron suddenly came and brought that along. That. The armor that you used. Ah, when taking a closer look, wasn't this wreck the magic armor? Point 3. It couldn't be recognized with one glance, because it was divided into parts. Come to think of it, when I gave back the report saying they should just leave it alone because it was broken, I also said that I would come back for it soon. So did you fight when you encountered each other? Ah. Surely Zanoba never imagined to run into Orsted in this place. Maybe it would have been better to tell him about this yesterday. Ah well, no external wounds can be seen, it seems Orsted went easy on him. In the end he could not take it because of the curse, so he said he will leave it to you and crawled over to there. You sure are highly cherished. Zanoba. Without thinking, I rushed towards Zanoba and started using healing magic. Because there wasn't an external injury, there was most likely no meaning in using it, but at the very least I wanted him to have a peaceful sleep. Or rather, when he fell down here, did he land on his head? Orsted has no mercy. Then, he will open his eyes again, right? I put him to sleep with hypnosis magic that is passed down in the Nuka tribe. He will wake up in a few hours for. I see. With hypnosis magic. I wonder what kind of magic it is. Could you freely manipulate your opponent with it? For example, if I gave Sylvie the order roll up your skirt, would she do exactly as told? No, even if hypnosis wasn't used, she would do so. Then again, to make that order Sylvie has to first wear a skirt. A mini skirt would be great. A mini skirt like those fairies wear would surely suit Sylvie. Though in this country they do not sell something like a mini skirt. But well, if you...
Well, while stuff like this is charming, it happens a little too frequently in the web novel. Stuff like this is charming and all, but can you please just like, oh my gosh. It's funny, but save that for the slice of life at portions of the fucking show. I mean,
could freely manipulate others, Orsted would use it more often. It looks like the best it could do was to make others fall asleep. Let us go inside and continue yesterday's conversation. Orsted immediately went inside after saying that. After putting a jacket over Zanoba and creating a roof with magic, I went inside.
He doesn't
On the way
actually
back,
do this
I will bring him to
shit.
Ginger's place. Part 3. Then, it may be sudden,
Most he
but let us
does
move to the
is
main
just,
topic.
like,
Hearing Orsted's words, I sat at the table. Orsted took out the diary from his breast pocket and put it on the table.
His wives
It was a rather interesting
That's, like,
diary.
the most
While
that
I
he
have some
does.
interest in the time travel magic, but since we cannot replicate it, let us leave it alone for the time being. Yes. Although there are still some things to be worried about. Before we start talking about the contents of the diary, first tell me about the conversations until now between you and human god. I will have you spit out everything. With pleasure. I then recalled and recited everything, from when I first met Human God and everything afterwards. Until now, I have met with Human God. Directly after the teleportation. In the town of Rakaris. In Windport. In Eastport. Directly after almost getting killed by Orsted. Before enrolling into the Magic University. Right before I went to Begarid Continent. Just before the me came from the future. Right after the me came from the future. During the preparation to fight against Orsted. These 10 times. I went into detail in every one of them. As well as the outcome, exactly what and how it happened. Just after the teleportation. Being told to rely on Ruchard. As a result, we become adventurers. In the town of Rakaris. Being told to accept the request to look for the pet. As a result, we met with Drul and Veskel, but were eventually forced out of town. In Windport. To go into a back alley while holding food. As a result, I met the Great Demon Empress and gained a demon eye. In Eastport. Being shown a prediction and being told to go to Chiron. As a result, I became acquainted with Zanaba and rescued Lilia and Aisha. Directly after almost getting killed by Orsted. I did not receive advice. Before enrolling into the Magic University. Being told to go to the Magic University and research about the Monocalamity. As a result, I reunited with Sylphie and married her. Right before I went to Bigrido Continent. Being told to not go to Bigrido Continent. As a result of going against his advice, Paul died, Zenith became disabled and I married Roxy. Human God said that if I hadn't gone, Paul would have survived. Just before the me came from the future. Being told to go to the basement. The moment I tried to go, the me from the future came and told me what would have happened.
Bruh.
The rat was definitely inside.
But
Right
you
after
would
the me
not
came from the
have
future.
married Roxy.
He appeared with a displeased face and told me to kill Orsted. I accordingly did so and started the preparations to kill Orsted.
Again, net positive on not following Man God's instructions. Paul died, yes, but you did marry Roxy, and she did not marry some rando who saved her in the fucking labyrinth. There you go. And instead of not marrying one of the beast, instead you didn't marry one of the, you refused to marry the beast girls, which is perfect in my eyes. Perfect. Could not have asked for anything better.
The preparation. He was talking freely about the armor.
Because seriously,
as a result, the completion was hurried. Orsted was quietly listening to the story, while neither adding to the conversation or asking questions. He was just quietly listening. That is all. Did you understand something?
Bits. They just
Orsted nodded when being asked.
Bits.
I understood exactly how he used you. Oh. So it was a fact. As expected, it was Orsted's area of expertise. Point 5. He has used you to change the history. The history. Originally the history preordained by strong fate was not supposed to change. Is that because my fate is strong? Yes. It seems my destiny power could change the history. Point 6. But, if Orsted-sama intended to change it, it would change, right? As he nodded, he tapped on the diary lying on top of the table. But I do not grasp the reason why Human God has changed history to this degree. Is the reason not to prevent his own death? Do not just blindly believe in his words. Yes. Well, there was the possibility of being lied to. Anyway, I understood one thing. What would that be? The fact that after changing history this way, in the end a favorable future for him awaits. I see. In one beat, Orsted said. Thus I will make you change history, to a future that will be favorable for me. So it's not to return it to its original path. It makes sense. What has not happened is not part of history. History is what you make. It is a rather tedious way. 7. I am already preparing and moving while thinking about what will happen in a 100 years' time. What has happened and what will happen, everything is strategic preparation. Because of Nanahoshi and you, things have become distorted. In a 100 years' time. It appears he has started preparing a long time ago, to now change his strategy seemed no longer viable. Just for confirmation, it appears we cannot go to the place where Human God is and beat him up together, right? Until we have collected hidden treasures, we cannot reach Human God 8. And we cannot collect them right now. It is possible to collect 4, but the last one is in Laplace's possession. Laplace's revival is about 80 years from now. I will retrieve the hidden treasure. Be sure not to act in a selfish manner. Selfish or not. It was not like I knew where those hidden treasures were located. Though it was written in the diary that they were in the possession of the 5 dragon leaders. But the only place I knew was Perigeus's place. But isn't the plan compromised by the fact that the Mad Dragon King Chaos has died? 9. I have heard that the Mad Dragon King Chaos has passed away. Is it still alright? Chaos's part has already been collected. I see, so the preparations have already been done. But, the plan to have me change the future may have already been predicted by Human God. Is there not also the possibility that by moving this way, we will dig our own grave? None. The possibility is high that he possesses the characteristic to be unconditionally trusted by the living beings in this world in addition to his strong future sight. On the other hand, he is not good dealing with irregulars. 10. Is that so? I wonder whether Human God also possesses a curse. 11. But no, there would be no trust. After all, I did not trust him. Then again, Orsted's curse does not work on me. Thus Human God's curse would also not work on me. There was a feeling that Human God was struggling in his conversations with me. But thinking back, in the beginning I did seem to trust his words a lot. So it can be said that the curse was not completely working. So there was also the possibility that one day I will become fearful towards Orsted. No, Orsted's information may be not completely true. The fact that he is unconditionally trusted by all living beings, there is the possibility that it can be ruled out. In the end, I had no clue what was correct or not. Unexpectedly, that curses do not affect me may only be half true. At first I was quite scared regarding Orsted. On the other hand, on the way I began trusting human God more and more. Ah well, I didn't know about this. Let's put it aside. Even if you look ahead, you may not win. I can 12. Orsted declared so. He is not omnipotent, it is just one more step. Those words were not directed towards me. It was as if Orsted was persuading himself. Orsted intended to win. Even if I was inferior midway, I will be the one to win in the end, such metal could be felt. How dependable. For the time being, we will change the most recent history 13. The most recent. That is right. Continuing, Orsted said this. To turn Azura Kingdom's second princess, Ariel and Azura, into the Azura Kingdom's queen. Oh. If it is necessary, we will manipulate her like a puppet.
The queen?
Oh. Like a puppet. How to say, they were words that caused a bad feeling. I wonder if that Ariel Sama can be so easily manipulated. Even though I said like a puppet, it is not such an exaggerated thing. It is enough if there are ties to the Azura Kingdom in the future. I see. When saying ties in the future, it is in anticipation for the next 100 years. If we started something now, the results will show themselves in a 100 years' time. For example, to help regarding the study of magic. For example, to strengthen the armaments. For example, to extinguish the spark that will lead to the collapse of the kingdom. I wonder if doing something like that will be alright. There is no problem. In the first place, in the history that I know of, Ariel was supposed to become queen. Oh, is it possible to hear details regarding that history? Alright. Orsted nodded and began to narrate. Part 4. According to the original history, Ariel and Azura should have become queen. This was protected by a considerably powerful fate, it was a settled matter. One would not think so if one saw the current Ariel Sama. I suppose. The fortune of Ariel as of late has started to wane. Even I could see and understand that, she was getting nowhere when speaking with Perosius. It may be because of that Sylvie seemed to be busy going here and there. Though they gave their best, it felt tough. To make Ariel queen, the power of 3 people are required. The first one is the guardian magician Derek Redbat 14. Guardian magician Derek. He was the magician that acted as Ariel's escort before Sylvie. He seemed to have died because of the monocalamity. He was a shrewd man, possessing a strong ambition. If the monocalamity had not happened, Ariel was fated to encounter Perosius. And the one who at that time would have persuaded Perosius was Derek. That is to say that if that Derek fellow was alive right now, the situation right now would not be like this. Even after this, Derek would have remained as Ariel's advisor and would eventually become the Prime Minister. Prime Minister. No wonder he was such an important person. Such a person disappeared due to the monocalamity. That is right. Though he was supposed to have been protected by a strong fate, he died. Even with fate, it didn't seem to be infallible. It would be better to not think that because I possess a strong fate, I could not die. In other words, it would be fine to find another person. No, if we are to manipulate, a Prime Minister would become a hindrance instead. He is not needed. Without a Prime Minister, will Ariel be able to do it? With Ariel coming to the Magic City Sharia, there has been a change in talented personnel. There is no problem. Then it's fine. If we try to follow that path, it seems it will backfire. Well, that being said, it's better if I didn't become the Prime Minister.
Bro, is Hinogami
I was not particularly smart.
Luke?
The second one was Eris Boreas Guerrere. Eris. I wonder how she was related to this. Apart from being nobility from Azura, they don't have anything else in common. Originally, after training her sword arm, Eris was supposed to enter the Azura's chivalric order. There she would meet Luke and they were fated to marry. There was a tingling sensation in my chest. Wait a minute, the image of Eris and Luke marrying does not seem possible. For Luke it was love at first sight. You serious? So Luke was that, huh? The descendant of a hero or something? No, it wouldn't be weird for him to fall for Eris at first sight. She was incredibly beautiful. Her chest was huge. Her body was quite erotic. It wouldn't be weird for someone to be suddenly deceived by her appearance. No matter how many times he was hit, against Luke Notice Guerrere's relentless attacks, Eris Boreas Guerrere eventually gave in.
I don't know.
But after marriage, they were a rather happily married couple 15. A happily married couple. If you properly look deep enough, even Eris has some cute spots. But there was a feeling of being anti-art. Right, once I'm back, let's rub Eris's breasts from behind. I will most likely be hit, but everything has its price. To touch those breasts, even becoming punch drunk would be fine. 16. To you it would be an unpleasant topic. To be honest. I see. Then let me summarize it. I do not know about any other history. The history where Eris and Luke stuck together did not exist. In the current history, the one receiving Eris's love is only me. 17. Eris is mine only. Unlike now, the Eris Boreas Guerrere I knew was a swordswoman, whose sword arm had the potential to become saint-ranked. Because she was from a good family, had beautiful looks and coupled with her harsh personality, she was called the Red Lion 18. The Red Lion. If I remember right, since young Eris was called Wild Monkey or something like that. If I compare them, she seemed to have risen up. Though she was known as Mad Sword King right now, wait, in the end she was still a beast. Together with Luke, Eris protected Ariel from assassins countless times, and helped pave Ariel's road to become queen. So it is the position Sylvie is in right now. That's right. And in that history, what was supposed to happen to Sylvie? Though it wasn't related, let's hear it. Sylviette became Roxy Megardia's disciple and became an adventurer. Due to her green hair, she seems to have been disliked, but she eventually managed to conquer several dungeons and became world famous as a dungeon traveler, dungeon explorer. Oh. Incredible, Sylvie. As expected from my Sylvie. When I return, let me lick your ears. And, Who did Sylvie marry with? The reason I talk is not to satisfy your intellectual curiosity. So I was told directly. I'm sorry. But when I became dejected, Orsted let out a sigh and continued. To my knowledge, Sylvie and Roxy Megardia did not marry anyone and lived their lives as singles. Is that so? Thank you very much. I see. So Sylvie and Roxy were singles. Ah, so those two only belong to me. I was somehow happy. Especially after being told that Eris and Luke were supposed to be married. So this is what's known as possessiveness, huh? Those two belong to this 1.19. I will definitely not hand them over to anyone. Is there anyone else from your family
that... are you just gonna keep just distracting me with these nonsense questions? Oh, fine, I'll answer. They were single.
You want to know the history of...
hell, dude.
No, let us continue with the story. Though I want to hear. A story about a world where I didn't exist, even if I heard it, nothing could be done about it. Then, hearing only the necessary parts was fine. 20. Let that be enough to satisfy my curiosity. Instead of Eris, Sylvie took on that duty, that should be fine, right? Ah. The fact that Ariel is alive is proof of that. Furthermore, because Eris was accompanying Ariel, Philip Boreas Square and Saros Boreas Square joined the faction of the second princess. More people who passed away. Both Philip and Saros have already died. To think that those two should have become Ariel's comrades. Wasn't the current situation rather severe? Then the third person. Tristina Purple Horse. Tristina Purple Horse? Someone I didn't know, huh? Tristina was a child from Azura's upper aristocracy's family Purple Horse, but was abducted when she was 8 years old and became a sex slave to senior minister Darius Silverganius. Darius? Wasn't he the minister holding the most power in the Azura kingdom right now? He was in the first prince's faction. To make an 8-year-old child his sex slave, he sure has an interesting taste. Then again, the first prince, what was his name again? Tristina was supposed to be disposed of in secret, but was fortunately helped by Ariel. Though he was a senior minister, he could not escape the charges after imprisoning a child from the Purple Horse family for so many years. As a result, the senior minister lost his position and the first prince Gravel lost influence. 21. The first prince's name was Gravel. Right, remember it? Understood. Then where is Tristina in the current history? Her position is unknown. She was not dead. Because a big incident happened, Darius had to immediately reorganize his surroundings. To dispose of his sex slaves, the possibility that they died is high. So it's a problem of possibility. It seemed the probability of her being dead was higher. Darius sold the sex slaves, who should have been disposed, at the slave market to raise money. Thus the women who became slaves were most of the time bought by someone else and continued as a slave, or were taught techniques, if they were not adults yet, and became thieves. At that moment, Orsted tapped at my diary. I am intrigued about the woman called Tris, who is mentioned in the diary. Tris. If I remember right, she was the thief woman that me in the diary met when infiltrating the Azura kingdom. Though the diary wasn't written any further. But the name Tris is not an uncommon name in Azura. This and that. That was because there were all kinds of RIS in Azura. 22. True, but as far as I know, a thief woman called Tris does not exist in that region. Also, the characteristics of Tristina and the thief woman mentioned in the diary seem to match. Ah, I see. A person, whose history wasn't known by Orsted, suddenly appeared in the diary. So because the names are similar, there's a chance that they are the same person. Even so, Tristina and Tris. If they were the same person, I wonder if she named herself Tris because it was easier to call. It was a feeling as if the rest was spirited away. 23. So by obtaining that person, it is possible to ruin the senior minister.
Okay,
It's because Tris does not exist in that region.
Quick. You do not buy the web novels. You could just look them up. Just look them up, because like this right now, this is just fan translated. This is just fan translated because they're all in Japanese. You could just literally look up these web novels and you should be good. Light novels you can find on Amazon. They're around $14 a pop. I think they only adapted the volume 14, which is volume 15 in the web novel. Wait, what? But web novels. I'm getting confused. You could buy the web novels? I'm confused. You shouldn't be able to buy the web novels. Please, someone answer my question. There's no fucking way. Let me... fine, I'll look it up. Yeah, the mangas... Yeah. The web novels is supposed to be public. It's original content. It's just... basically just like a blog post. Yeah. Yeah, I was like... Yeah, see? Like that. Open source materials. That's why. I'm not afraid of getting copyright striked or whatever the fuck by reading this. There you go. Fucking hell. If it's free, it's for me.
Also, the characteristics of Tristina and the thief woman mentioned in the diary seem to match.
They're not official.
I
this
see.
isn't official
A person
English
whose
version.
history wasn't known by Orsted suddenly appeared in the diary. So because the names are similar, there's a chance that they are the same person. Even so, Tristina and Tris. If they were the same person, I wonder if she named herself Tris because it was easier to call. It was a feeling as if the rest was spirited away. 23. So by obtaining that person, it is possible to ruin the senior minister. It's because she is a live witness. Then for Ariel to become queen, she was someone we had to get in contact with. I wonder why she did not return to her parents' house. Officially it was a kidnapping, but she was sold by Purple Horse behind the scenes. If it was revealed that she was sold away as a sex slave by her parents' house, they would lose their power. Because the supposed kidnapping was revealed. As long as a reason exists to attack others, anything would have been fine. I see. Since Darius had many enemies, who and where had what circumstances, anything would have been fine. For a girl from upper aristocracy to be abducted and violated against her will, if that was the truth, it wouldn't be difficult to ruin Darius. It is a rather disturbing country. True. But because it was full of such people, they hold the most power in this world. Disregarding the fact that they live on rich lands. Well, there were likely many good diplomats or so. Though it may be bias, even if internally they pull each other's legs, their connection with other countries seemed to be good. Regardless, as long as Tristina exists, we can force Senior Minister Darius's downfall. Once he is gone, the rest will somehow fall in place. Is Senior Minister Darius such a powerful person? It would not be an exaggeration to say that the current king only became king because of Darius. Is that so? I wonder if he was the kind that was good at collecting money and laying the groundwork like Sawa. If we fail to cause his ruin, you will kill him. I am to kill him. Yes. With your powerful fate, killing him should be easy. It seemed that whether or not you are able to kill your opponent was decided by the strength of your fate. Alright, wasn't this also Human God's argument on whether or not I could kill Orsted? Understood. Though there was some resistance towards killing people. But if it was related to protecting my family, I will try my best. The opponent was an evil minister. Then it was fine. If the opponent was scum, he couldn't be regarded as a human. But if I followed the story correctly, wasn't there also the faction of the second prince? Is it fine to leave him alone? The second prince Half-House. A path that would lead him to become king does not exist. If he was not a possible candidate to become king, there were few.
I love how this fucking bot just pronounces half-ass as half-ass. Half-ass, dude. Hell yeah. I don't know. I don't know why it censored that.
Who truly thought of him becoming king. However, nothing is certain this time, even if the chance was low, he may become king. The second prince. Half-House was the name. I neither knew his face or personality, but if he was considered as a candidate, he should be excellent. We don't know what could happen. There is no problem. If we happen to fail, we will succeed next time. Next time? Is it about the next move? That is right. What will become of Ariel? She will die. Having been alive for 200,024 years, I wonder if 1 or 2 failures are tolerable. After all, in a long, thought out
200,024. Hell yeah, dude.
plan, not everything can be successful. So for a strategic move in a 100 years time, it would be fine even if 1 or 2 things were missing. But still. Let us stop here, saying such momentary things will only make human gods snicker. Being told so, Orsted had a furious look. It was a scary face. But I still continued. It is possible that afterwards the failures will continue. As a result, the final conflict might be influenced. While I agreed that it was fine as long as you win in the end one way or another, if Ariel were to die, there existed the possibility that Sylphie will be involved. I also promised Ghislaine to introduce her to Ariel. The follower's misfortune was my misfortune. I did not wish for misfortune. Let us take care of each and every one. To win every single challenge with the utmost caution. That goes without saying. Orsted firmly nodded. Anyway, the first objective is to make Ariel queen. Orsted-sama will give instruction and I will be the one moving, so to say. That is right. So this was the feeling of being backed by someone. The feeling of being backed by Orsted's Dragon God Association. But revealing this was a little troublesome. Let us also make plans on how to deal with the second Prince Half-House. Very well. Regarding him, leave it to me. I will cause the downfall of the major nobles that follow him. Although he did not have the desire to become king, that will be enough to weaken his will to fight. From his tone, I noticed something. It may not matter who became king from Orsted's view. Even if Ariel died and Half-House became king. In that case, it would be fine to insinuate myself into his faction. The start of the operation will surely be soon. In January, the information that the king fell ill will arrive. Until then, complete your preparations. With Orsted's words, the objective for the time being was decided. Part 5. Well, then, preparations.
Yeah,
even if he said preparations, exactly what should I prepare? While establishing contact with Ariel and Luke was obvious, there were also other preparations to be made. Exactly what should I prepare? First it will be your equipment. Most likely you will have to fight against
No,
human
can't
gods apostles.
half-ass, dude.
Although just your body should be enough, it would be better to have protective equipment. Orsted looked outside the hut when saying so. There was the magic armor, the parts of which were in pieces, and Zanaba, who was sleeping peacefully. When looking closely, even the right hand's Gatling was brought along. Although it was far from the fighting god's armor, it is a terrific armor. It must have been hard work to build something like that. Well, I did receive a lot of advice from human god. Is that so? So he also dug his own grave. So, what is the epitaph? Epitaph, you say. The name of that armor. Magic armor, magic driven armor. I see, a rather boring name. Should I give it a new one? Let's see. No thank you. Orsted squinted his eyes and laughed. Even this guy's smile was eccentric. Leaving the name aside, I wonder what Cliff and Zanaba would think about receiving praise from Dragon Orsted regarding the performance. Point 25. If you plan to keep continuing it in the future, it would be good to improve it a little more. With that, you will use up all your magic with only one use. Even so, if we miniaturize it, it will not be ready in a month's time. Then we will leave it out this time. After saying that, Orsted put his hand on his chin and nodded. I wondered if he planned to help with the production. Is he going to give our armor the mark of the dragon god? But it's a problem that you cannot wear fighting spirit. For now, wear this robe. Ah, yes. Thank you very much. That robe was surely very valuable. Let us also prepare magic items that you seem to be able to use. The best environment, pay and equipment. Did Orsted plan to prepare all of them? There was a big difference compared to human god's lousy pitches. Point 26. Come to think of it, I have heard that the fighting god's armor was the most powerful. Exactly what was it? It was Demon Dragon King Laplace's greatest masterpiece, as well as his greatest failure. Laplace's greatest masterpiece. So it was Laplace that created it? On the surface the magic released will have a golden shine and the person equipped to it will gain the strongest power. However, because of the massive magic it is self-conscious and will take over the mind of the one equipped to it, it is a cursed armor. A cursed armor. Ah, was that what the dragon tribe was good at making? It felt like all Laplace was making were cursed items. Sucker tribe spears, the armor, he didn't seem to have made any useful things. Furthermore, right now it was sleeping in the middle of ocean rings, deep underneath. 27. Orsted seemed to know just about everything. There was nothing he didn't know. Point 28. And, let me give you this. While saying so, Orsted took out something like a scroll from his pocket. Receiving and opening it, a magic circle was inscribed on it. This is what was mentioned yesterday, a magic circle to summon a guardian magical beast. Oh. Imagine a being to protect your family while pouring magic into it. Even words are fine. Then something corresponding to it should be summoned. Is an image good enough? Your magic is vast. Even without going into full details, you should be able to summon someone good. Even if I was told that someone good will be found. But well, if it was like that, I will give it a try. I hope something weird will not be summoned. Like a little girl, starting with demon and ending with emperor. It is up to you exactly what will be summoned, but Kishirika Kishirisa possesses vast magic. Such a small magic circle could not summon someone like her. So the problem is size. Oh well. Anyway, regarding the guardian magical beast, I will summon it tomorrow. Ah. First I should deepen friendly relations with Luke and Ariel and prepare for battle. That is right. Understood. For now, this should be it to the discussion. Ah, right. I forgot to ask one more important matter. Come to think of it, it seems my descendants will be helping Orsted-san. It should be better to create many of them, right? And, if I have too many children, will Laplace be among them? Laplace will not be born amongst your children. Do as you like. Understood. I will do as I like. Then let's give birth and increase our forces a little bit. Point 29. Even Orsted would be happier to be surrounded by a great number of comrades. Then, please excuse me for today. Unless this summoning magic circle is used, we will not know whether it works. Ah. Then, until another day. If something occurs, please contact my house again. While standing up, I remembered one more thing that needed to be asked. Come to think of it, Orsted-sama. Have you visited Nanahoshi yet? No, I have not. Although it is not something I should say, but if you are anxious to be called by her, it would make me happy if you could forgive her. It was me who grabbed hold of her weakness and forced her to become my comrade. Orsted did not say a thing. Even I did not want others to be in discord because of me. Nanahoshi was against me fighting you. It was because she was indebted to me. She still seems to regret manipulating you. If Orsted-san still has room in your heart to forgive Nanahoshi, could you agree with meeting with her once more, even if only to hear her apology? 30. I know. I will do so. Only because Nanahoshi was a useful woman. That's true. She was very useful.
She was very useful,
right.
yes.
I remembered because of the topic right now.
Very useful.
Ignoring my side for now, it would be inconvenient if it was not possible for you to contact me. Take this with you. Orsted took out from his breast pocket a single ring and put it on the table. I have seen it somewhere. It was very recent.
You just finished,
or rather,
volume
wasn't this what
16
Nanahoshi had and I
on.
used for the trap? If some emergency comes up,
so
use it to call me.
long,
When you use this ring, for a short time magic will be released. While it released magic, it will become a compass, with the other pair pointing towards the direction of the other. If this was a magic tool, it seemed like it would be possible to create a radar. Unfortunately it seemed reproducing the effects of magic items was very difficult. Even so, for him to give me this. He was confident in repelling another one of my surprise attacks, so to say. Or alternatively, he had enough trust in me that I will not attempt another surprise attack. Let's assume the latter. Even Orsted would not want to go all out a second or third time and use his sumptuous magic. If he places his trust in me, then I have a duty to respond to it. I have received it. Then, until another day. Taking the ring, I left the hut. Part 6. Afterwards I carried Zanaba and took him to Ginger's room. I left a message saying the request to repair the magic armor will be at a later date.
I know who XQC
When I returned home,
is.
Sylvie was sullenly waiting. I explained to Sylvie, who was angry that I left the second time without telling where I went, about meeting Orsted. While hiding the future course of action, I told her that I will be moving here and there for the next month. Then I carried out my duty to increase Orsted's future allies by inviting her to the bed gradually. 31. The one thing necessary for this duty was love. While making some excuse, that day I slept soundly. TL, or as Sandra Salchuk described it.
We're skipping this. Dude. Guardian Matt. Oh, he's gonna summon it. Ooh. Summon Kishirika. I dare you. Fucking hell, dude. Summon the fucking bodyguard or some shit.
Chapter 169, Guardian Magical Beast. Part 1. A postponement of 1 month was granted. During this time I had things that had to be done. Even so, the time of 1 month was short, there were few things that could be done. I could not get carried away just because I had Orsted's backing. Though it may have been said in the heat of the moment, he seemed to think that even if we failed this time, there will be a next time. Maybe he was even thinking of developing a magic to return to the past after reading my diary. Alternatively, he may have already experienced a time slip himself. In hindsight, when Orsted used the word next time, he made a face as if saying damn it. Not just once or twice, the possibility existed that he repeatedly time slipped. If that was true, why didn't he reveal it to me? Even so, the me, who has kept various things hidden from my family, could somehow understand. Things that were hard to explain would be hidden underneath lies and deception. In fact, he may be hiding unfavorable things from me because he still doubted me, so even if he was betrayed, I could not do anything about it in the current situation. For now I wish to conduct myself in a way to not be hated by him.
I gotta, think about this. Rudius's, apprenticeship with Orsted was just thrown out of nowhere. Orsted's offer to, for Rudius to become, his partner or something, that was just, thrown out of nowhere. Why did he... Was it because, he kind of sees into the future sort of deal? And he's being friends with Rudius would be favorable for me because of his strong fate or some shit? Maybe? I assume that might be it. I'm not 100% sure. Because, it's so strange how, in the beginning, when he first met Rudius, he's, instantly trying to kill him. And then, all of a sudden he's just let's be friends. And now he's acting extremely friendly to him, giving him blank checks all over the place. There has to be he probably just saw the future. It's if I have his best interests in mind, it'll work out for me. Oldius was thrown out of nowhere. Orsted actually makes sense. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, in comparison. Okay. Of course, Oldius came out of fucking nowhere. Of course he did. We all saw my meme. We know he came out of fucking nowhere, okay? It's because Rudius told him that his descendants will be allies in the future. Did he say that after? Oh yeah, he probably did say that during the fight. The only persons that are not afraid and hostile towards him, he sees that Rudius only wants to protect his loved ones. I guess so. I wouldn't be surprised though if he was. He told that when he begged him. Yeah. Okay. So he's just okay. So he made him his friend because he's I feel sorry for beating this guy up or something. Or yeah, and it also has benefits to him having his whole family be born and shit. All of his kids be born and all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
Thus let's first forget his secrets. Even if Orsted had a next time, I did not have that. You only get one life. Though I said that, it wasn't very convincing. I have listened to the story of the me who came from the future and in the end read the diary. I could feel with my skin that it was a life filled with regret. I did not have the feeling that as long as I could redo, it was fine. Or rather, if I thought that way, I felt like I would betray everything I have done so far. So let's put forth as much effort as possible. Exactly what to do in specific terms.
I understand that curse. I understand that. But even if, like, it seemed like he was on human god's side for a little bit, but I guess if he, like, spilled out his whole, like, I just want to live with my family and all that shit, I guess, like, he understands that he's not really on human god's side. Because if he was on human god's side, he wouldn't give a shit about that curse, about him avoiding that curse. Enemy of an enemy is a friend, the type of logic. Okay.
The body. Training your magic. After that, continuing with what I have always done. It was not as if by increasing the amount of training, I would suddenly get stronger. Continuing would become strength. Let's do what I have always done. Apart from that, it was agreed to have mock battles. Until now I have thought that something was missing. Although practice and training were important, to learn how to effectively use the trained techniques, mock battles were necessary after all. In sports it would be called sparring. An outdoor match called a fighting game. Although it was only a simulation, such a thing will become combat experience. The opponent was Eris. Eris was a sword king and in close combat she was already overwhelmingly stronger than me, there was nothing to complain about. Well, there may be some dissatisfaction with me being Eris's opponent. By having Eris frequently fight against tricks like Quagmire and Dense Fog, I thought I would give my best to have them become her experience point 1. She seemed to be somewhat weak against tricks. By the way, she had almost forgotten everything that she was taught a long time ago. Though she was still able to use simple beginner magic and could also speak demon god language. But language, mathematics, science, and etiquette in society did not remain in her head. In the end there were only things she liked to learn, so to say. Though I thought it was enough to have at least one merit sword technique. Anyway, training proceeded in that way. It would be terrible to be attacked when taking a bath in the bathroom, because holding mock battles with Eris was very tiring, but for now there was no problem point 2. But still, Eris was a mysterious woman. Even though she herself would excessively touch me, when I was touching her, I would get hit for some reason. It was illogical. Regarding equipment, I asked Zanaba and Cliff to repair and improve the magic armor point 3. Like miniaturizing and making it more efficient. Performance-wise it would be detuned. 4. Although it would not be completed within a month, I will look at it in the long term. There was also some talk about Orsted providing some technology, they will somehow manage it within a few years. For this job in Azure Kingdom I will wear the equipment Orsted had prepared and given to me. Surely I will be wearing equipment that was enough to cause the downfall of a country. It was not as if I disliked the robe Sylphie selected, but I was a boy after all. My heart was dancing at the thought of new equipment. Well then, training and equipment were continuously reinforced. Regarding the other matter. To do things that needed to be done in a short amount of time, a schedule was needed. For that, this month's schedule was put up. On the first day I was thinking of calling the Guardian Magical Beast. And then to see for a week whether the Guardian Magical Beast was useful or not. If it was alright, then I would contact Cliff next. In addition to improving the equipment, there was one more thing I wanted to ask him. It was mainly about curses, something like experiments. While that was being prepared, I'd use Sylphie's connection to introduce Ghislaine and Ariel. During that time, use some excuse and then lead the topic into helping Ariel. Then take 1 or 2 weeks to persuade Perogius. It would be good to run that parallel with the request to Cliff. For now I plan to move according to the schedule. Although the main event, Ariel's matter, turned out to be the last, since both the Guardian Beast and Cliff seemed to be alright, if I go in a winding way it should be fine. Thus the first matter was the summoning of the Guardian Magical Beast. Part 2. The next day after I was called by Orsted to hear the future plan of action. The entire family was brought together in the garden.
Okay, I really
the ones who were usually in the house, Aisha, Lilia, Zenith, and Eris, who recently became family. Roxy and Norn went without saying, but even Jiro and Beat were there. Lucy, who recently became able to walk, was in Sylphie's arm. I will now begin.
Equipment as sort of like a health bar to him, or like buffs, makes it kind of, yeah, it's very entertaining. It's a very entertaining aspects of fight scenes, like hearing like Orsted just fucking punch the center of Rudius's armor, and just like, thankfully that was like the most like durable part of the entire armor, so it didn't completely break. That was like cool. And then like when you witness like that entire fucking armor just getting fucking obliterated at the end, like that shit's fucking cool. But like, yeah,
the summoning of our house's Guardian Magical Beast.
It's a very interesting aspect of fight scenes.
Thunderous applause from everyone assembled. Tonight it will become a legendary live event. Oh my, why are Jiro-kun and Beat-kun not applauding? That is not good. We are going to summon a fellow comrade of yours. Regarding this time summon, it is unknown exactly what will be called forth. But there is no doubt that we are going to summon something powerful. That being will then protect the safety of the family. Hey, since Orsted made it, will it be alright? It won't devour everyone in the family when Rudy goes out. Sylphie's anxious voice. What a scary imagination. But wait, wasn't such a thing written in a book I once read? Summoning an uncontrollable magical beast and being devoured, something like that. No, but the magic circle itself is guaranteed by Dragon God 5. That's why I'm worried. Is that so?
I think
However,
it's probably
I
just
did not think that
coincidence
Orsted would use such
katana
indirect methods.
design.
A strategic move for a later betrayal? But I thought that there was a rather low chance. Understood. For now I will call it. If it is dangerous, everyone will help defeat it and then we'll make an objection to Orsted. Understood. The one who replied cheerfully was Eris. She spiritedly drew out her sword, making a sound. 6. By the way, the demon sword I received the other day, Yobi Ori, prominent, was at Eris' hip. 2 she originally possessed were at her left, 1 was at her right hip. I wondered if it was heavy. In that case, let us fight against Orsted together this time. We're not going to fight.
Here we go.
Only to
what
complain.
the fuck you mean?
If we fight, we may be wiped out this time. Or rather, Eris seemed to be quite happy. Was she looking for an excuse to fight against Orsted?
Oh wait, you were
Though
talking
we are
about
no
the
longer fighting
summoning
against
before,
Orsted,
right?
there are opportunities to fight together with him from now on. Until then, please keep storing your energy. Being told so, Eris was making a face as if saying how boring. It was fine if you wanted to fight anyone else, but Orsted was off limits. I never want to fight such a hopeless battle a second time. At that time I may piss myself. 7. Regardless, will that magic circle really be alright? Wouldn't it be better to show it to Perugia-sama and get confirmation first? Roxy's words. She was probably wary because Orsted was the one who made it. The curse Orsted was under was truly powerful. I could easily conclude that the curse was authentic, judging from the too sensitive reaction of the surroundings. Let's take another look at it.
Where do you read your light novels? You can get them digitally via like Amazon or get them through Bookwalker, but if you're a fucking weeb like me, you get as many physical copies as you can. Let me see which ones I have. This isn't in order. I had to let's see what I have. 8, 12, 5, 7, 10, 13, 14. So I have everything after 7 that's out right now. You got all 14? Ah, fucking. This is for you, because I can't find fucking volume 11. It's my favorite volume, but I can't fucking find it. I had to read it digitally. Yeah, they're all sold out. Like, holy shit. I was so lucky to find, like, volume 8 and 9 on Barnes & Noble. I was so fucking lucky. Now it seems like volume 13, 10, and 12 are pretty readily available on Amazon, but... And for some reason, volume 8.5 is as well. I don't fucking know why. I just picked it up because, like, okay, I guess I'll get that. Yeah, 15's in March. I'm probably going to pre-order that. Although when I pre-ordered volume 14, it didn't come in really great condition. But for some reason, when I ordered volume 10, it came in pristine condition. Why? I don't fucking know. Oh yeah, I'm having someone else, one of my neighboring people in the resident halls. I'm having him borrow volume 9 right now. I think he's on volume 9. Yeah, he's on volume 9. That's the one I'm missing right now. I'm gonna get all... Good for you. I probably will too, but it'll take a few years because it'll take a few years for them to come out. They're releasing one light novel volume every 2 months or so. I think 2 months. Yeah, 2 months. You got 14 released in January, 15 releases in March, 16 releases in May. So yeah. I'll pirate them myself. Can't get enough from Mushoku Tensei content? Well, until you finish it, so... There you go.
From the looks of it, it was a normal summoning magic circle.
So am I,
The summoning conditions were written using a technique that I didn't know of.
Come on.
But I didn't feel anything strange about those. It would be good to show them to Nanahoshi. No, in the first place Orsted drew this summoning magic circle up because I couldn't. What will I do if I doubt it? It's alright.
The English light novel is only going to be 26 volumes, but the web novel is only 24. First off, volume 7 is completely original, so there you go. And there's also extra chapters as well. I assume that's the answer. I assume that's the fucking answer.
Judging from the too sensitive reaction of the surroundings. Let's take another look at it. From the looks of it, it was a normal summoning magic circle. The summoning conditions were written using a technique that I didn't know of. But I didn't feel anything strange about those. It would be good to show them to Nanahoshi. No, in the first place Orsted drew this summoning magic circle up because I couldn't. What will I do if I doubt it? It's
Yeah.
alright. If Rudy
You
says
can
so,
also
I will
just,
believe it,
yeah, if you're
but just a
broke, you
minute,
can
I
just
will be
read the
taking out my
web
staff.
novel, which is
Roxy seemed to be doubtful.
honestly, you
Though
don't
she said
miss
she will believe
much.
me, she
You
went
don't
back to the
miss
house
much.
and
It's
took out
just
her favorite
slightly
staff.
better writing.
While I don't know why the sisters are so cautious,
Slightly,
San,
it's way
is it
better
really not
writing,
something
but
dangerous?
still, it's like
8.
you get the same
Norn was a
content.
little bit anxious. The one who tapped her on the shoulder was Aisha.
Hello.
You're a fool, Nornana. Ani-chan wouldn't use something truly dangerous so close to us 9. Aisha's trust struck me in the chest a little. When I truly thought about it, I did not know about the safety check in this magic circle. Was it really a good idea to use it? Even now, asking Perogius is this magic circle really safe would have been better. In such a case, Aisha would look at me with sad eyes and I would be suspicious about Orsted. No. I believed in Orsted. He said that he trusted me.
That'd be fucking hilarious if the magic circle was like just a fucking explosion. It was just a fucking nuke. It's like, get ya baited. Get ya baited, Rudius. You thought I was helping you? Ah, fuck you.
When it comes down to it, I will become your shield. You can do it without reserve. Lilia said some dangerous words. Although I thought you shouldn't be doing such things. With the surroundings saying such gloomy words, it truly seemed like it was something dangerous. Is this really a good idea? But alright. Then, I will be using the magic circle. At those words, everyone nodded. I put the said magic circle on a table that I created with magic. Right. Gathering my spirit, I put my hand on the magic circle. Concentrating my mind, with a feeling like letting magic into my bloodstream, I sent out magic from my fingertips. Thus I sent magic from my hand into the magic circle. I was not stingy with the quantity of magic used. After all, its existence was to protect my family. Even if too much, I was pouring all my magic into it. Incidentally, I also wanted Orsted to pour all his magic into it as well. But even so, pouring all that magic into it didn't guarantee that a strong magical beast will be summoned. Anyway, I will pour as much as I can. Orsted also said that imagination was important. An image to protect the family. Even having said so, it was rather vague. First and foremost, it should be strong. Strong enough to protect others even if someone comes. It should also have strong feelings of loyalty. Someone not defiant. Also not someone vulgar since he was to protect the family. It would be bad for my sister's and Lucy's education if some roper covered in viscous liquid appeared. 10. Alright, someone noble to become Lucy's knight. Someone noble, with high loyalty and strong. That's good. Come forth. Come forth, guardian magical beast. The magic circle unleashed dazzling light. Colorful lights were overflowing, not only white, but also green, red, blue, and yellow lights. Then suddenly there was a feeling as if the hand caught something. What was it? Anyway, I put in magic. Ugh. A grumble could be heard somewhere. Was this the voice of the guardian magical beast that will protect my family? A bizarre voice like it was resisting something. However, I put in more magic to drag it out from the magic circle. Ugh. His voice could now be clearly heard and at the same time the supply of magic stopped. The light was also dying out slowly. What appeared from the dazzling light was... damn. A yellow mask. A familiar uniform, white clothes. At his waist was a somewhat large dagger. He was on his knees on top of the earth table, in a pose as if both his arms were hugging his own shoulders. Impossible, for me to, be severed from Perogia-sama. In that pose, he looked at the surroundings. His eyes focused on me, even though his line of sight should not be known because of the mask he wore. What is your intention? He was whispering. I couldn't tell him. The splendorous Arimanfi. 11. Perogius's first servant was summoned. A pose as if he was a fallen angel. It could be described as having fallen from nobility. Only splendor. Or so, ha. I asked what your intention is, Rudius Rere. He jumped off from the table and tried grabbing my collar, but in the middle of it his body trembled and he suddenly stopped. Seeing this, Eris prepared her sword. For now she controlled her hand. House, Eris. 12. But still, are you serious? Possessing both splendor and nobility, that Arimanfi was summoned. But this person was a spirit possessing a human form, so those could be summoned as well? I couldn't understand that. Or was I double-crossed by Orsted? Like in fact Orsted wanted me to kill Perogius. Do it yourself. Well, no, even I don't know.
It yourself,
the current
bitch,
situation was because the magic circle I got from Orsted-sama was used. Orsted's magic circle, was it? What is it used to summon? My house's guardian magical beast. Arimanfi picked up the magic circle on the table. And raised a shocked voice when seeing its content. What a complex technique. What kind of techniques are they? It says to have absolute obedience towards you and to continue fending off disaster targeting your family. It looked like it was like a slave contract magic circle. But Orsted did not tell any lies after all.
Fucking
anything
hell.
else. The summoning target was decided by the summoner. Then it was me who summoned you. Alright. A change then. Change. Arimanfi-san, I messed up a bit, I will call someone else. Then quickly annul this contract. This Arimanfi is Perogia-sama's proud servant. Ah. Yes. But it wouldn't be bad to be protected by Arimanfi. It was somewhat staggering. He would be incredibly useful as a communication link if something happened. No, he was also useful to Perogius.
Wait, hold up, this is the same guy who fucking travels at fucking light speed? Wait, he just fucking summoned him? Wait, it took me a while to understand that shit. Wait, hold up. Oh, fuck. He basically made him his slave. That's so fucking dumb, I swear.
It would quickly become a fight. How do you absolve it? Order me right now to go to Perugia-sama. Verse of destruction will destroy the contract 13. I see. You must order it. Because of absolute obedience, could he not move if I didn't give him the order to? Then, please take the magic circle and go to Perugia-sama's place,
so
relaying that I would like to receive advice on how to summon a guardian magical beast. Having been ordered, Aramanfi picked up the magic circle on the table, turned into light and disappeared.
Rudius wants more rice seeds. Yes, sir. Just fucking dashes. Aisha wants some new shoes. Alright.
Sorry, I made a little blunder. Looking back, the family was dumbfounded. Part 3. After a while, Aramanfi returned. He conveyed Perugius's message as well as in the end added in a resentful voice, next time will not be forgiven. To him, being Perugius's servant was a status to be proud of. To take that from him was something inexcusable. The magic circle seemed to have lost its ability after annulling the contract, so Perugius appeared to have drawn up a new one. Such a service after that treatment. Perugia-sama was truly such a lenient person. But still, the quality of this magic circle from the dragon god was truly horrifying, making such a thing possible. Or rather my magic, I guess. Or it could have been both. Both may only be small embers, but combining both together create a fire. Anyway, I pulled myself together and tried once more. According to Perugius's advice, rather than using ambiguous images like splendor, omniscience, or omnipotent, it would be better to use images of animals. That Orsted, I wish you had said something like this from the start. Surprisingly, he may say something like having Aramanfi was fine. Then, once more. I looked at the surroundings and put my hand on the magic circle. Let's go with a clear image this time. A strong, proud animal. A lion. While I didn't know whether lions existed in this world, but I heard the word lion, it was surely somewhere. The king of beasts. Imagining the strongest animal amongst beasts. But when considering loyalty, rather than a cat, a dog would be better. No, it already had absolute obedience, let's focus more on its strength. The greatest animal in this world. I gathered all my body's magic in my right hand. I opened my eyes and poured magic into the magic circle as if I was slamming it in. The magic circle released dazzling lights. Just as the last time, colorful lights were overflowing. This time there was no feeling that something was out of place. Something has responded to my call from the smooth flow of magic. A feeling like a hand was reaching out and I grabbed and pulled it. I was certain that it succeeded. All right, come forth. Yaauuu. When I unintentionally called out, something let out a howl. The howl gradually became stronger, resounding in my earlobe. At the time as the summoning took place, a question emerged whether some voice must always be raised. Well, either way was fine. While I was thinking about that, the light subsided. A white lion was there. The size was about 2 meters. Because there was no mane, it was likely female. Incidentally, its lips were long, and when comparing both, it resembled a dog more than a cat. Or rather, this wasn't a lion. It was a dog. And from the short limbs, it was a puppy. Finally, its fur wasn't white, but silver. It was like a large-sized Mame Shiba. 14. Guess another failure. So cute. But isn't it a little unreliable as a guardian magical beast? Aisha and Norn let out a shrill and a discontented voice respectively. But for a puppy it has a pretty good look to it. At the very least a pure presence can be felt you wouldn't expect from a magical beast.
A new dog.
Sylphie's and Roxy's reaction were fairly well. Lilia wore a poker face so I couldn't tell, but she wasn't frowning. Zenith was as usual. I couldn't very well tell Beats, but Jiro was already showing his belly and making a pose of obedience. The first impression of the family wasn't bad.
Just summon a fucking
but still,
puppy.
Haven't I seen this puppy somewhere? Hey, wasn't this the one who took a liking to Rudius in the Duradai village?
Wait, what?
Being told by Eris, I remembered. How did beast god language go again? Like this. Are you by chance Holy Beast Sama? Wafa 15. Being asked, the brutish dog seemed to nod and lick my face. This damn beast. Shit, I was being made a fool. But I got it now. I see. It was Holy...
Isn't he like their like religious idol or some shit? Weren't they like super pissed at Rudius for like just like hugging it? And he fucking summoned it and made it its slave. Made him his slave. What the fuck, dude? Oh my gosh, bro. What the fuck? What the fuck's gonna happen to that tribe, dude? They're gonna start a war against Rudius or some shit. This isn't some cute shit. Rudius just went fucking political on the fucking Doldia tribe, dude, I swear.
Beast Sama. The one in the innermost part of the Duradai village and was taken very, very good care of, that holy Beast Sama. What should I do? If I said that he
Oh
was summoned
my
and put to work,
gosh, that's
wouldn't everyone in
fucking
the beast tribe be
hilarious.
extremely angry? Wouldn't it be dangerous to become a wanted criminal of the beast tribe? Can I also change this? But if this contract was also annulled, wouldn't it be another annoyance to Perogius or Orsted? In addition, even if it was changed, there wasn't a guarantee that a better guy will come. Holy Beast Sama, do you possess the strength to protect this family from disasters? Wafun. A reply like leave it to me. It was full of motivation. But wasn't this guy also kidnapped? I wonder if it will be alright. There was also a feeling that Orsted said that human god wouldn't be able to meddle that much with my family. While I was indecisive, Holy Beast Sama jumped off from the small table, rubbed my body and licked my face. Ah, so soft. Fur conditioner was definitely used. If he became our guardian magical beast, I would be able to enjoy this coat of fur every day. No, we're mistaken. He wasn't Holy Beast Sama. Yes. This wasn't a holy beast. It was definitely not the guardian deity of the Duradai tribe. There was no way Holy Beast Sama would come to a place like this. It was a similar looking dog. Yes, this was a lion. It was a lion cub I called forth from one of the countless worlds. Yes, it was decided. It had now become so. Or rather, they were going to become angry after today's summon. If it couldn't be done no matter what, I will ask Perogia-sama for help and change it.
That should be
Until then, he was employed for now.
Yeah, that's...
Good, your name from now on will be Leo. When I held out my hand, Holy Beast Sama was licking and let out a snort from his nose. And raised his face as if he suddenly noticed something.
Again,
in his line of sight was Roxy.
Leo
trotted towards her, and dived inside her skirt. W.A. Wait. What are you doing? Roxy was lightly hitting Holy Beast Sama with her staff. The arrow dog let out a sigh from his nose and licked Roxy's feet. Then he lay down his massive body as if to embrace Roxy's feet. Rudy, what to do? A flustered Roxy. I didn't quite understand what was going on, but it would be right to say it took a liking towards Roxy. Oh well. Leo. Since you have been summoned this way, you are now my servant and your duty is to protect my family here. Understood. Juan. Asking him, Holy Beast Leo replied energetically. I don't know how helpful this damn dog would be. But now that he has been summoned, he is the guardian magical beast. Surely it would be useful. Leo, I will explain the employment details mentioned earlier. You may have lived a carefree lifestyle previously, but such selfishness will not be allowed here. You will be attached to a collar and live in the doghouse. If suspicious persons come bark, bite, and take their ability to resist. In the case the opponent was strong, I don't mind if you kill him. You will have 3 meals a day. You can freely take naps. If you desire it, you will also be taken for a walk if those sound fine with you, bark Juan. Juan. Great, a good reply. The message certainly came through. The talk was in beast god language, right? Needless to say, in the case you yourself harm the family. Kuan. Leo let out an offended sound from his throat. Good. The contract is complete then. Pa. I held out my hand with the palm facing upwards. When doing so, Leo put his front paw on top of it. Thus the pets in our house increased by 1. TL, may need TLC, roundabout ways. TL.
Oh my gosh. Fucking hell. Ugh. I'm gonna put paw here now. Ugh. It looks like we're 35% of the way through this volume. Bruh. I need to take a break, bro. Oh my gosh. That was some good shit. Oh my gosh. Oh, you're heading out. See ya. 3 pets in the house, an armadillo, a plant, and a puppy. Fucking hell. Bruh, I swear. Oh. Let me look at something here. We have a... I was like very surprised by how my last video did both on YouTube and on Reddit. Like that is fucking crazy. I didn't expect my Turning Point 4 in a nutshell to pop off on Reddit. That was fun. Did you guys see what's the face? Did y'all see fucking the latest Trash Taste episode? Did any of you see the latest Trash Taste episode? Well, in it, you see Sea Dog VA Connor pointed out something. He pointed out that he said he talked about Mushoku Tensei, and I just have to go back here and show you something. There's one point that I did not agree with at all. I'm gonna mute the desktop audio for a second just so I can get to the point. This is like the fucking this is like the best fucking hold up. Where do I let's nope, I don't think I want that. Have You should be able to hear me now. There you go. You should be able to hear me now. Anyway, gotta have a trying to make a new scene in this fucking. There you go. Trying to make a new stream in this fucking shit is very difficult to fucking do. I was not prepared for this, to say the least. I was not prepared. But for some reason, I can't move anything on this. Like, I can move shit on here. Like look at this shit. Like, I can move this. Like, what? Oh, okay, so it just OBS isn't allowing me to do it. Okay. Fucking weird. But yeah, this is basically, hold up. This is basically,
right? That's all I knew about it. It was the only thing I knew about the show.
Basically the same exact fucking
I feel like whenever Connor hits
many of
Isekai,
my friends had.
I hated flashbacks of like me talking like in
basically. Yeah. And so I went into this with an open mind. I didn't read any reviews. I didn't watch any videos.
Exactly
I don't know anything about Mushoku Tensei. Right?
Yeah.
All I know is that everyone hypes it up.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'll watch it. Be me, right? First episode, right? I'm watching this thing.
Yeah.
And he gets isekai'd as a toddler. First thing he does is starts like admiring like the woman's tits, and I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake!
It's even worse in the fucking light novel. I have the digital version of Volume 1. There's a whole chapter dedicated to fucking Lilia and from Lilia's perspective and trying to raise this demon child who constantly looks at her tits. It's fucking hilarious, but it's so off-putting for people new to the fucking to the fucking series. Build a better OBS. Bro. I may be a computer scientist, but come on, bro. I'm using Streamlabs right now. I should probably move to OBS. It'd probably be better, but like, okay, to point out the fucking comment I see here. Since you react to Mushoku Tensei novels, would you also react to the episodes? Answer: fuck no. I hate that fucking meta with a burning passion. Go watch it yourselves. Honestly. Maybe I'll watch the fucking shows with like a timestamp or something. And then you can watch it yourself, because I really like supporting the actual show. I'd rather not have something streamed. Streaming volume 14 was a fucking stretch, because that was the actual light novel that I streamed, but I only streamed like half of it. And you could just as easy, and I'm pretty sure most of you have access to volume 14 through one way or another. But yeah, it's like, I don't like the react to anime episodes meta. It's not my thing. It's really not. Fucking hell. But yeah, there was also another point that CDawg VA raises in this. I'm trying to find it right now, but like, I'm trying to find it. Watch reactions after the episode myself. That's kind of like, okay, I'm kind of doing the same thing right now, but I kind of find like reaction meta is like a low ball fucking low fruit fucking reaction content. But since like the web novels are like open source and shit, like I think reacting to web novels is fine, but it's ugh. I thought everyone did it like that. I don't like watching episode reactions. It's, especially when you live with roommates, you just have them watch the fucking episode eventually, you know? It's whatever. But if you don't have roommates, or you don't have people watching the show with you, then yeah, it's kind of difficult. So I can understand, but like, I mean, I think it's reacting is fine if they just show like the subtitles at the bottom of the screen. Like, I think you can get away with that, and having no audio, just being able to like reference and see what's going on, understand what's going on, but only if you actually watch the episode. Like, I think that's fine. Again, it's just a low fruit content. I'm trying to find it. Okay, I'm pretty sure I remember the fucking argument that he says. So basically, CDawg VA. I can't fucking remember where the portion is. I've been trying to find it this entire fucking time I've been talking to you. But basically, he basically says that like Rudius gets basically consequences for doing like his weird perverted shit. He gets dealt consequences by doing like weird perverted shit. No, he doesn't. He really doesn't. What's the video called? I want to check it out. What do you mean? Oh, you mean the trash taste episode? But he does when? Getting punched by Eris? Is that it? Yeah, that's not like... There's no like actual like consequences in that relation. There's no like... There's nothing like punishing him. Like, he just gets punched and that's it. That is nothing. The only reason why he's like... One of the main reasons why that he's like actually like viewed as a good person is because literally all the other fucking royalty pieces of shit like rape their fucking maids, like Saros. Like, it's a medieval world, and like in comparison he actually like treats women with some amount of respect unlike most people. He got ED? No, yes, he did get ED. Is that consequences of his actions? It's not as big of a consequence as I should have phrased it better. He doesn't get as severely punched as he should be. There you go. He doesn't get nearly as punched as he should be. But that's mainly because he's in a medieval world where all the fucking lines that are crossed is like way up here in terms of severity, in terms of like down here in the modern world, you know. Like, you see royalty get away with like fucking just literally fucking their maids, and that wouldn't fly. That would definitely not fly. And like, and it's really like weird. Like, many people are surprised by like Rudius actually treating like his wives equally. It's like, you don't have a favorite one, and many people are thrown off by that. So like, that's another way of Rudius being viewed as like better than most people in that world. It's very weird. But like, saying that he gets consequences for his actions, that's a stretch. He gets punched like once. He gets like punched for like one time every single time he does it. That's I mean, he definitely improves his behavior. That's no question. But like, come on. And he's a pedophile. There's no mistaking he's a pedophile. So, you know. But that's not the point that he's trying to make in this fucking podcast. Anyway, as for the actual fucking title, The Boys Went Snowboarding. Just look up Trash Taste and it'll be their latest episode. You'll see like the timestamp where they talk about Mushoku Tensei around here. There you go. There you go. It's called the Golden Kingdom because of its golden shower. Okay. The only one who blames him is himself. He got eating now. Whereas Punch is no joke, man. I don't give a shit about how bad the punch is. Eris's relationship with Rudius was not tarnished in any way by him raping her. He literally raped her. Come on. That fucking... She was laying on that haystack, and then he was just like, okay, let me try to steal her panties real quick. Like, what the fuck? Fondles breasts. Like, he is literally a 35-year-old man. That shit was so fucking cringe. Many people fucking quit the series because of that. Many people. It was so hard to watch that shit. So hard. Thankfully, because I was streaming it, I was able to skip that portion. Couldn't when I was watching with a few friends because the laptop was all the way over there and it was projecting to the TV, and it was way too much effort. But like, still. Episode 8, it was probably episode 8, yeah. Episode 9 was Turning Point 1, right? Yeah. It was probably episode 8. well, to each their own, but you have a different idea of what consequences for Rudy's actions would be. All in all, he gets punished for this shit, but he's more so he reprimands himself. Yeah, he checks himself. He does improve. That's thankfully does improve, and he's a redeemable character, definitely. But like, bro, like, come on. You're saying that he gets punished for his like fucking sexual tendencies is like, oh my gosh, bro, that's not true. He does after the fucking, once he moves to the demon continent, I believe he basically doesn't do much after getting teleported to the demon continent, which is good. He does get punished in what is it? I wouldn't say he gets punished, because like he had ED and he was trying to find a prostitute to help him out with it, but he does somewhat get punished in Volume 7 with it, where there was like a relationship like thing with him and Sarah. When Sarah found out that he was with a prostitute, he was like, and he was drunk and all that shit, he was like, oh, what the fuck, you left me mid sex and then went to a prostitute instead. Like, bruh, come on. Like, you expect something like that if he literally raped Eris, but Eris is like fucking, what, 8 at the time? 10? 8? Probably 10? Probably 10. No, she was 9. It was right before her 10th birthday. She was 9. She was 9. That's what makes the story so great. Yeah, but like, I'm just saying, like, she was 10. Okay, whatever. Whatever. Honestly, I don't give a shit. No. The scene I was thinking about was right before, like when Eris was taking a break from her dance practicing, and that was Eris's birthday. That wasn't Rudius's. You guys can't remember that fucking scene? That scene was is fucking scarred in my mind. That scene was fucking messed up. Bro. Come on. It's like, oh my gosh. I learned a lesson in not talking about Mushoku Tensei at any other place than the Mushoku Tensei Discord. Okay. You can talk about Mushoku Tensei to friends and shit, to random people. You can talk about it. Just don't mention the pedophilia shit. For the love of God, don't mention the fucking pedophilia shit. Because that shit's fucking cringe. I hate that shit. It's just one of the major flaws with like anime in general. It's like fucking fan service and shit. And sometimes it has points. Like, for example, the fucking second to last episode of the season, like, that sex scene was actually had plot relevance. And like, I guess like him progressing from his weird ass sexual tendencies was a character development, but it was like, at times it was a bit excessive. It was really excessive. Not just a bit. It was really excessive. We could get the point with a lot less. When she's running from the dance classes is when Rudy talks about not giving up on things. No, exactly. Okay, so I was wrong. It wasn't that scene. It was a scene where she ran away from math practice. Not that. So she was probably 8. It was when she was running away from math practice. And she was literally sleeping on a stack of hay. Yeah. Episode 6. Honestly, it was more for a gag kind of joke considering how it played out, but considering what happened, it's understandable why many don't like it. A lot of people stepped away from the series after that. I fucking hated it, but thankfully I was able to skip it, so I didn't mind too much. Okay, bro. That sex scene only so far, that was like the only fucking sex scene that was actually done well in terms of like, because it was, first off, it was very, very fucking weird. Okay, so first off, it was two kids having sex. You couldn't show anything because otherwise that's fucking, you're basically drawing child porn. Don't do that. Thankfully, the fucking wine glass shit was very good, and the flashbacks involved in it were really good. That was like extremely creatively well done for what actually happened. That shit was well done, really tasteful, really tasteful. I don't think too hard about those scenes anymore. I already accepted that anime will always do this kind of things. Yeah, but it's very cringe. Like, okay, I'm gonna fucking. Alright, I'm gonna risk it here. I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna show a scene from a recent anime. Most wholesome moment possible. Most wholesome moment of the fucking show. Okay, so this is spoilers for Ranking of Kings. I am watching this right now. It is currently airing. Spoilers for Ranking of Kings, whatever. You don't really need this shit. Basically, he reunites with his stepmom, and it's a very, very wholesome scene. And now, let's go to it. Let's actually go to the actual scene and analyze what actually happens. Is that any good? Plan to watch? Okay. Yeah, if you're planning on watching this, come back in a minute or so. Or mute me. I don't give a shit. I'll have this audio muted because this is purely visual. Okay. I see the frame here. Okay. Okay, so I have the scene right here. Alright, so he has been separated with his stepmom for a long ass time after a long ass journey. He's finally about to hug his mom, right? Fucking wholesome ass moment. Notice the fucking. Okay, and then notice there's a distinct difference between these two different hugs. That is a wholesome hug. You see, the animators decided not to draw this fucking. Hold up, what the fuck? Fucking go, Crunchyroll! I swear. They didn't decide to animate this. You could have avoided that shit. This is literally animated. You deliberately decided to do that during a fucking wholesome shit. Wholesomeness of the most wholesome shit. You decided to fucking ruin it with this shit. I'm sorry, it's fucking cringe. I can't get over that shit. Cause he's the main focus, and you literally can't avoid that shit. Come on. I know, I'm sorry, but it was such a wholesome moment. I was looking forward to that moment, but fucking come on, dude. It was fucking, you couldn't do that shit. You can't do that shit to me. Come on. I don't care if I'm reading too much into it. It's fucking, you don't get it? Okay, fine. You guys are desensitized as fuck. Whatever. It's just like it was building up multiple episodes for their reunion, and then they decide to throw a boob in there. There were literally two different hugs. One had no boob, and one did have boob, and they decided to animate with boob. it's not. It wasn't too lewd, but it was just like okay. It wasn't too lewd, but for like the fucking tone that it was setting, it was not needed. Not needed. It was not needed. Whatever. You're reading too much into it. It's fine. Whatever. I can forgive it. I can forgive it. It's a really good fucking show. I highly recommend that show. Ranking of Kings is fucking excellent. If you haven't seen it, fucking watch it. It's so fucking good. Such a good fucking show. Please go watch it. You're really just nitpicking? I know I am. I know I am. But hey, I'm nitpicking for content here, okay? I'm nitpicking for content. This is content right here, okay? You came to the stream for content, okay? Alright? But like, dude, it's stuff like this. Like, can you give me for content? Okay, carry on. Fucking hell. Okay. Here. You want to see content? Do you want to see content? All right. So there have been a lot of different shows airing this season that have been very fucking good. Attack on Titan being one of them. Fucking excellent show. Excellent show. Excellent show. I don't care for Demon Slayer, so I on purpose avoid that shit. But oh yeah, that's right. It was originally supposed to be okay. Many of you might understand where I'm going with this one. This is the fucking worst. Fuck. No. No sound. No sound. No sound. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? No sound. No sound. No sound. Fuck. If you can't hear me, this is bad because OBS says it's detecting. Okay. I'm good. We have sound. Please confirm if I have sound. Please confirm. Nah, it's good. Okay, good. Okay. Yeah, because OBS is saying that we have. I think he's trolling. Okay, good. Okay. Sorry, my bad. Okay, dude. This fucking show, World's End Harem, is the most bullshit. It's the most bullshit show. And I can handle it. Ranking of Kings does not deserve. It should not have boob. It should not have boob. This show should have boob. This show has the worst fucking shit I've seen in a while. I mean, like, if you look at my Redo of Healer video, like, is it as bad as Redo of Healer? It's probably I'd say it's better because Redo of Healer has a lot of rape scenes involved. Oh no, never watched Redo. You should watch my review on it. It basically sums up my thoughts on it. But like, oh my gosh, like that show was fucking terrible to watch. But thankfully, we had I think you mean healing scenes. Healing scenes? Healing scenes. Those were not healing scenes. Hold up. Those were not healing scenes. Redo is so fucking stupid that I unironically liked it. It is really bad. I dropped Redo mostly because the plot and the characters are so boring. I kind of enjoyed it because it was a train wreck, but every single time that something way too cringy was happening, I kind of skipped most of it. It was a lot happened in that show. It was very fucking bad. Very fucking bad. I could not handle it. It was fucking terrible. Oh my gosh, I might as well move the chat over here. That way I'm somewhat looking into the camera. Somewhat. Yeah. Apparently it has a big female readership in Japan. These fucking yeah, fucking horny bitches, I swear. You know the most suspenseful train wreck domestic girlfriend. The Spice Master domestic girlfriend. That shit is fucking. I have watched that shit I've watched 3 episodes. I'd say probably 3 episodes with a friend. That shit was fucking weird. There was drama coming out of nowhere. Drama just comes out of nowhere. It just spawns like fucking NPCs and fucking RPGs. It's so bad it's good. It's literally just you, like in Pokemon, you go through the grass area and just randomly, you're trapped in the grass area and you just randomly pop into some fucking train wreck of a fucking drama hit. It's so fucking weird. That show is so fucking weird. I don't want to read the fucking manga. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. It's so fucking weird. I swear. You feel my brain cells die as I went through that series. Unironically loved every moment of it. It has reasons to. There are reasons to watch it for that same reason, and it's for the same reason why I watch this show. No, not that show. Sorry, this show. It's the same reason why I watch it. Or somewhat watch it. I haven't watched it in a while. I haven't watched it in a few weeks. But when I have the mood to enjoy something that is fucking weird and fucking cringe as shit, but also fucking weird as shit, you turn this on and it's fucking it's the best fucking comedy you could ever ask for. Man of culture, I see. Yeah, I know. I'm a man of culture. It's the if you watch World's End Harem or Redo of Healer or Domestic Girlfriend, you are a person of culture. You are one with culture. Culture is within you. You understand. If I want to cringe, I just watch Rent a Girlfriend. That is bad cringe. That is just bad writing cringe. Come on, dude. That's just bad writing. Do you have a Mal list? I do. In fact, I have a VOD where I just rank Mal in general. But let me... Should I re-rank some anime? Because my tastes have changed a little bit. My tastes have changed a little bit. I'm thinking, should I? What do I have ranked on here so far? Let me just go through here. What's this anime list looking at right now? Completed. Score. This can be updated. This can definitely be updated. I think this is the one that I used for my stream. What's your score of Mushoku Tensei? Here, I'm gonna close all these fucking tabs. Score Mushoku Tensei, I'd probably just... Let me actually do that real quick. Winter 2021, yep, that was it. So, add a list, completed. I'd say the first season was a 9. And is it summer or fall? It was fall, wasn't it? Yeah, it was fall. Komi was more popular than Mushoku Tensei. Shit. As for the fucking, I'd give this a 10. For me, season 1 is an 8, and season 2 is a 10. This one's not as strong of a 10 as other shows that I've watched. It's like you just made the top 10 list. You just made like number 10 barely. There are some moments that are slow. Like I honestly thought that the Doldia episodes were a bit slow. They were necessary, but we didn't have to have that one episode before reuniting with Paul. We didn't have to have that episode. That episode was kind of mid. I gave it a 10 after I finished the novel. On the web novel, the forest was great. I gave a 9 on both, but after reading the novels, I did less love the series, so it increased to 10. That shouldn't affect your score. But we need to meet Geese. The Geese part's fine, but he's not in the episode I'm talking about. I'm talking the episode where Eris like trains the kids. It's like the slice of life episode after that whole attack on the Doldia tribe. That whole episode, you could have shortened that a lot. You could have shortened that by a lot. It was not needed, but whatever. I thought it was, yeah. It was not. It could have been shortened. There are moments like that where it could be shortened, but like those are very small nitpicks, but small enough where I still give this show still give that season a fucking 10. So. Wasn't necessary, however. It was for world building. You could do world building in better ways. Season 1 did world building in better ways. Season 1 did better world building by like fucking literally throwing you into the... Wait, no, that episode wasn't for world building. It was just for fucking building relationships between like those random kids. Like you already were thrown into that Doldia tribe shit. Like you were already thrown into that environment by Brutus being locked up in that fucking place. And you already got a feel for it after like a few moments of that one episode, but like you didn't need that entire fucking shit. That entire fucking shit was not important. Anyway, I need to re-rank some anime here. I still keep Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood as 7. Oh wait, no. Show's still airing. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, 10. Attack on Titan is a better show than Mushoku Tensei. I just had to do that. Steins Gate's 9, yeah. Oh yeah, if you have not watched Violet Evergarden, especially the fucking movie, watch the series first and then the movie because they're dependent on each other. But please, oh my gosh, dude, just please watch Violet Evergarden if you get the chance, dude. Oh my gosh, that's just fucking amazing. And so it's really important for Eris development. I guess. That's why he doesn't care for it. He doesn't like Aerosol too much. You guys are fucking memeing on me here. The kids were Persona and Rina. I think it'd be okay. If they were gonna come back in some major way, I think it'd be fine. But I don't think those are those two, right? They're different. They're different people. So I don't give a shit. The slow episode was necessary, giving off a feeling of waiting 3 months in the monsoon season, whatever, monsoon. Can't fucking read. It makes the family drama episode much more impactful by being so chill. Watched it, thought it was good. 8 out of 10. Again, it's a small enough nitpick for me to still rate a fucking 10. Yeah, but anyway, guys, please, yeah, like this guy gives it an 8 out of 10. If you're talking about Violet Evergarden, that is, please watch it. It's fucking great. I fucking love that. I fucking love that show. Holy shit. I need to watch Monogatari, but I haven't gotten to it. Would you guys recommend it? Watching 9. Just giving my quick little thoughts. Link click 8. It was good. I gotta speed run this shit. Mushoku Tensei, top 34, top rated. Let's go. Monogatari series is a masterpiece. I watched the first few episodes. It's good. Got a good vibe. But I think I finished the first arc of it and half of the second probably. I'm watching Bakemonogatari. The backpack girl kind of lost me, so I stopped watching it after a little bit. But it was good. It should have been good enough for me to keep going. Oh wait, whoa. I dropped that shit? Nah, shit, bro. That fucking good quality shit. Anyway. Yeah, I need to revisit this at some point. Different stream. Oh my gosh. So anyway, I think I'm gonna call it a night. I'll probably get back to reading this Mushoku Tensei a little later. Anyway, I think that's it. See y'all later.